Hello. Hello, people. It's me, Aito, your favorite, your Oshi.
Hello?
And here's your other Oshi, Bear.
Oh, yes. I am Oshi material. Do you see these horns?
Bro, do I?
Oh boy, smooching time.
Hi, chat.
Hello, Bear Toe. Hey, Toshi. Oh my god.
Toshi.
I hate when chat's funnier than me.
Same, dude.
Anyway,
Same.
welcome, everybody. Today we're talking about Homestuck. Also, let me know
Yeah, so
how the audio is, just, you know. But anyway, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like you and I kind of like stumbled across each other, and then I offhandedly mentioned Homestuck, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, I've read that," and I was like, "What?" So
Oh, yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, I think okay, because I think it was you did it just chatting with Nemo,
Mhm.
and I think I raided into it, and I don't remember, but somehow Homestuck came up, and because it was like Naruto and Homestuck came up like right next to each other, and Nemo was like, "Well, you lost points with Aito for liking Naruto, but you got those points back for liking Homestuck."
Yeah. Not very many VTubers have watched Homestuck. I feel like if Homestuck was made
Dude,
now, somebody would have been a VTuber. For
VTubers.
sure.
I don't know how you can be a VTuber and not have Homestuck knowledge. I
I
don't
know, right?
It feels like a gateway drug.
True. But for those of you who don't know me,
yeah.
Aito's chat. I'm Bear. I'm a little witch VTuber, but I'm a PNG tuber at the moment. Who specializes in fusing her art with magic. And what else is interesting about me? I don't know. I'm a Bowser fucker, I guess.
Bowser, yeah. Don't worry, my chat knows what's up. All right, you won't get bullied here.
Yeah, my chat bullies me for liking Bowser.
Can I get some 07s in chat for fucking Bowser?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's Witch Month. But chat, how much do you guys know about Homestuck?
Yeah, please. I actually don't know for some of you.
Yeah, because I feel like even though the fan base was like really, really big back in the day, I see like absolutely nobody knowing anything about Homestuck nowadays. And I'm like, where did you all go? Did you all just leave the internet? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe they just don't want to admit to it.
Or maybe we're just like Giga Chads because we admit to it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like we have no fear.
We're the cool ones. All right. So, okay, one or two references. They hide their Homestuck days, you cowards.
I know.
I know what you are. Say
What
it.
cowards. Say it.
You're a Homestuck.
Of Carcat.
Fucking. Oh god. I genuinely, because like I've made like with I remember specifically, I feel like a lot of people hide their, that's coward talk. I try to be as open as possible about the cringy shit I say and do. Anyway, I remember one specific thing with V and Nemo, and I remember calling them dump ass because there's like,
Oh my,
yeah,
that brings me back.
yeah, there was a point where Dave says that, and I was like, yeah, you fucking dump ass, and they started making fun of me, so I like linked to the page and then also sent a screenshot of him saying it. And they were like, oh my god, I love a man with sources.
And then that fuck ass was a thing for like
fuck ass, Gigas.
Forever. So should we start off with that question that we agreed to start with?
Yeah. Do you want to start?
Sure. So we were basically thought we would start like on saying how we had heard of Homestuck.
Yeah.
So I got into Homestuck when I was like 13, 14. I was in 8th grade. For those of you who know anything about Homestuck, probably wasn't appropriate media for my age range, but I think I turned out okay. But I'm also a VTuber, so who knows? So I was very active on Tumblr. Back in that like era where Tumblr was actually a relevant social media platform. And I remember seeing so much stuff on Tumblr about Homestuck, and I was like, this looks kind of cool because like there was so much fan art. There was like people were writing stuff about it, and then I think where I ended up actually reading it was I had a childhood friend who. Well, I'll talk about a lot about him, but he's my ex-boyfriend, but we'll talk about that. It's relevant to the story, I promise. And he was like, oh, I'm reading Homestuck, you should try it out. And since I like had feelings for him, I was like, okay, sure, I'll read Homestuck.
Right.
And then I fucking read Homestuck. And here we are.
Oh yeah, okay, interesting.
I think I read all of what was available. It was like up to part 5, like midway through part 5. In like, I think I read it in like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm a really fast reader.
Damn. You beat me because I did not read it that fast. Interesting. Okay, so I guess I'll go. Oh, damn. Okay, sorry, I was trying to open something. Anyway. Oh, I just looked it up. We were talking about the pauses earlier. The Omega pause was when I got caught up.
Okay, wait.
Which was smaller than the Giga pause. It was Act 6, Act 6, Intermission 5.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. So you got caught up like later.
Oh yeah.
Than when I had read it. Okay, I see. Yeah, I was built different. I like can't read books anymore, and I was just like, yep, I'm gonna read all of Homestuck in like.
Let's
like
fucking
weeks.
go.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Naruto, but I think I read it fast. Well, I guess One Piece is a lot longer, but I read it a lot faster than fucking One Piece. But I think part of that was like I got to the war arc and I was like,
It's like the shittest arc.
I want it to be over.
It sucks. That arc is terrible, especially if
Yeah.
you're watching the anime, because they show you the same scenes like 7 million times.
Oh god. But yeah, I have V and Nemo especially know, but I have like a thing where like I'll like someone will be like, yeah, you know, it's good, but it's really long, and I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm reading it right now. I'll tell you about it next week. I don't know, I like really long things because I feel like there's something that you can, when it's done well, you can tell like such like interesting stories across, because you can build into things so like slowly and naturally. But if it's like short, you have to like go bam 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 bam, you know. But
oh, for sure. Yeah, I due to like my my work, like since I like work in games, and like I've done a lot of like I've taken a lot of classes about like storytelling and like
Right.
entertainment media. I tend to prefer short things because a lot of long form media is done wrong.
I agree. I
But
agree.
when it's done well, like, you know, Homestuck, Attack on Titan, like well, Homestuck is arguable. I don't know how I feel about the ending. Like Attack on Titan, One Piece, like those sorts of
Yeah,
like
I do want to talk about the ending, because I have Homestuck later, but we'll get to that.
yeah. So I think it's really cool because it's like the creator like has a long-term plan, and I feel like a lot of media like doesn't have a long-term
They have
plan.
no
Like,
idea what they're doing.
Great example is like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
Kingdom Hearts.
I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
I've played every game that isn't a mobile game, and boy, that's its own thing.
I've
that
been
could be
planning
its
on
own
playing the main ones, like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, it's arguable that you should play the others, but like I've played them all, and I feel like the way Kingdom Hearts is written, they will just have, if you didn't play the game, they will have a cutscene where someone explains the plot of the game to you, basically. So if you have played the game, you go, oh, I already know this. Shut the fuck up. I played a whole game to know that. Why are you explaining it to me? So no, you don't have to. I think it's one of those things where someone would be like, you didn't play Kingdom Hearts Union Crossing on your fucking phone, you fucking loser. And it's like, no, I didn't actually, thank you.
It's like, why would I? You know what I mean? Like, why would I when Wikipedia exists?
Exactly.
Like, if the game's not fun, no. Like, no
I think
way.
Nightfang played it over here. Did you play Union Crossing Nightfang? I can't remember. I know you know the story better than me, but creator has a long-term plan, but I have a short-term memory. You did. Yeah, that's fair. George Lucas had a whole plan for the final Star Wars trilogy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He had like an idea for like another trilogy and then sold it.
I don't understand why. Well, it's I don't know why Disney would chuck that out the window, but that's a whole other can of worms that we could probably talk about for an entire stream. Because I have opinions about that for sure. And I'm not even that into Star Wars.
Down with the mouse.
Yeah. So how did you find Homestuck?
Okay. So how I learned that Homestuck existed was I knew a guy. I've known this guy since like kindergarten or first grade, like a long time. We went to the same school.
Similar childhood friend.
Yeah.
Sort of situation.
He was the guy. We all had this guy. He was the guy who came to school with a shirt, and you looked at his shirt, and it was a My Little Pony version of Doctor Who.
Oh my god.
So
yes,
he talked about Homestuck. So my immediate response was, well, look down at his shirt, look back up at him, and think to myself that I'm not going to read that now that you specifically have told me about it. And that was,
I'll look at you.
Yeah. And then my friend Joaquin one day was like, hey, Joaquin really likes webcomics, and he's also a furry. So he told me about a furry webcomic called Prequel, which is a webcomic that takes place in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion world. It takes place before the game starts, so that's why it's called Prequel. And it's about like not a tabaxi. That's D&D. What the fuck are they called? I don't remember. The cat people in Elder Scrolls. Anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Khajiit people?
Khajiit, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I haven't played an Elder Scrolls game.
I think they're terrible, but I have nostalgia for Oblivion, so I can replay it. Anyway. So he told me about that. It's actually pretty good. You don't have to know anything about Elder Scrolls. It's just like a fun little webcomic about a cat who constantly fucks up and you feel bad for her. But it started on the MS Paint forums and then eventually moved to its own website. So he told me about the whole thing. It started in MS Paint forums. I didn't know that MS Paint and Homestuck were connected. So I was like, wacky. I'm caught up on Prequel now. I'm gonna go look up this MS Paint thing, and then I saw, and it was like, Jailbreak, Bard Quest.
Like the OG.
Yeah. And then Homestuck was on there, but somehow I didn't realize that it was called. I don't know how. I started reading Homestuck and didn't know it was called Homestuck. I thought that it was called MS Paint Adventures, and the other stories were just like other stories with different names, so I started reading it, and then I was reading it, and I was like, oh yeah, I started reading MS Paint Adventures. It's really good. And Joaquin was like, you started reading Homestuck? And I was like, no, MS Paint Adventures. And he's like, yeah, that's Homestuck. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, it's good.
Like, oh no, I fell in the hole without knowing.
Yeah. And that's how I got into Homestuck, by accident.
Oh god.
I didn't even want to.
So how much fan media have you consumed about Homestuck?
Not a lot. I can literally pull up, I have a folder of fan art and tell you, because I have just folders of fan art of anything.
Because most of my experience was fan media.
Yeah. I don't even. Apparently, I don't even have a Homestuck folder. So that there you go. I've seen fan art and I've seen like some stuff. Like what was there was someone who like went really in depth on like the class specting stuff that I followed for a minute.
Yeah.
I can't remember their name, but they were big on Tumblr. I think it's sort of the D like. I don't know. Anyway, I liked the class specting stuff specifically because I just thought it was really interesting to like read about like people's interpretations.
Interesting. So, since I was very young when I read Homestuck, a lot of the media that I consumed was on YouTube.
Okay.
And there were like people who would make like Homestuck songs or Homestuck song parodies.
I've seen a couple.
And there's this one song that's a parody of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Oh, I think I've heard that one
by
actually.
Billy Joel. Yeah. It's by Billy Joel, right?
Yeah.
Do I sound dumb? Okay. Because I bring this up because to kind of drive home the point of how much fan media I consumed, every time I hear We Didn't Start the Fire, I think of the fucking Homestuck parody. I know all the words to the Homestuck parody and not the original song.
Fuck yes.
Like it is. I'll like link it for chat. Like
Yeah.
I can. Hold on. We didn't fight the Homestuck. Or You Can't Fight the Homestuck, it's called. It has 4.8 million views on
God
YouTube.
damn.
Our links. Oh yeah, links.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so that's the song. And then there was Carkalicious.
I
which
know
was a parody of
Carkalicious.
Fergalicious.
Yeah.
You know Carkalicious?
Yeah,
So,
well, I know the main like bit.
yeah, so there is like new games made for Homestuck recently. Like we can talk about like how
the official games.
yeah, like the official Homestuck games. And they have voice acting in them. And the voice for Carcat is the guy who voiced all of the like comic dub stuff.
Oh my god, are you
YouTube.
serious?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's actually crazy. So he's like the official voice of Carcat. And like so I grew up like watching the comic dubs. Like people would make fan comics on Tumblr and then like people would dub them. People made these crazy animations like Mambo Stuck by they work at Powerhouse Animation now. This was like huge. This was a huge video. It has 2.4 million views.
God damn.
And it was like a troll, like a Homestuck troll animated like music video to like Neely Mambo by Block B, the K-pop group. And this person now I think works at Powerhouse Animation as like a storyboard artist. Like, and that was like one of the videos that like kind of got them on the map, which is crazy.
Interesting.
Like all of this kind of stuff was like my experience. Okay. I feel like I'm talking too much, but I can tell the story. So like the person that I was introduced to Homestuck by, he's like my childhood friend. And at the time we had like weird, like middle schooler, like tension, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like that sort of thing. And I was reading Homestuck and I had a Windows phone. And I remember that when I was reading Homestuck, he and I would like text each other in like the troll typing quirk.
Fucking god.
And if chat doesn't know, like there are the humans and the trolls in Homestuck, right? And the trolls are the ones with the gray skin and the horns. Like that's where that sort of like trope came from. And each troll has like a different quote unquote typing quirk with varying degrees of legibility in the comic.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Some of them speak in like leet speak. One of them's like a cat. One of them alternates between uppercase and lowercase. And so we would like text each other like that. So I was Nefida and he was Gamzee.
Oh my god.
Which is even worse, knowing what happens in the comic. So, we would do that.
I'm gonna paste an example in chat for you guys of what it looks like.
Yep. Yeah, the second one is how I would type to him, which is cringe as hell. And for Halloween in 8th grade, we did a Homestuck cosplay.
Oh my fucking god. No. Go on.
And I was Nefida and he was Gamzee, and we made Homestuck horns out of like I remember going on Tumblr and like looking for like how to make Homestuck horns, because at the time they weren't selling the official like merchandise. I think all they had at the time was like the god tier hoodies and like
right
the t-shirts or whatever, and like the t-shirts were sucky, so we made our own t-shirts as well. And so we cut out foam and like put model magic over them and painted the horns. And we went to school in our Homestuck cosplay.
Oh my, no.
As well.
Holy shit. Also, I put like an actual screenshot on screen just for anyone curious. This is what reading through text in Homestuck is like.
Yeah, I went back and tried to read it recently, and like I literally could not do it.
It
was just.
It is right. These are not even the hardest to read. These.
Dirk's text color.
Oh, I fucking hate Dirk's text color. Ugh. I like.
It's like.
I like Frisco's.
Illegible. Like literally.
Thing, her like 8s and stuff, and how she does 8 of like. So I thought that was fun because it was like simple and easy to understand. But some of them are just like fucking Aridin, or wait, yeah, I always get Aridin and Equus' names mixed up. Aridin, this is always weird because he does like the V's instead of W's, and
imagine having to type this out like as Hussy.
I think
like, just typing the.
I think he said like sometime during Act 6 he had a converter or something because it was just such a fucking pain in the ass where he could like type it in and
it's
it
actually
would,
crazy.
Yeah.
And he would like make a converter for Homestuck.
They talk a lot, so there's a lot of
that's
fucking
crazy
text in this fucking story, so goddamn.
Yeah. So much reading. And then the story doesn't end here. So I at the time like wasn't like, I was in 8th grade, I like wasn't dating this guy.
Right.
And that my first like boyfriend in like freshman year of high school, like late 8th grade, like he also said that he read Homestuck, and I would also talk to this guy with the fucking thing, but he would be Solix instead of Gamzee. And I dated this guy for like a year. And like we didn't do this, like I stopped doing this, of course, like, but we were together. How long? I think I was with him for like 2 years. And I remember like the last couple months of our relationship, like we didn't break up for any like, you know, horrible reason, but he said like, yeah, I lied and said I read Homestuck. I didn't actually read Homestuck. He just like liked me.
Oh, that's such an interesting thing to lie about.
I know, he lied about reading Homestuck because he like liked me, I guess. Which is like crazy looking back on it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he kept up the lie for
yeah,
like
but
a year.
he was like committed to it.
Yeah. He like never read it. He like looked up like all the information and shit.
Oh my god.
But, like, I just have the image of like one of my high school boyfriends like frantically like Googling stuff about Homestuck just to like impress me. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I'm imagining you ask like a really specific question and he's like on the wiki like fuck, where is it, like scrolling
Yeah.
through super fast. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah. And the other, because the guy who I did the cosplay with, he was upset that I ended up with this other guy at the time
Oh yeah.
because I talked in Homestuck to this other guy.
What do you mean you don't love me? we did typing quirks together. Oh my god.
And I ended up dating him from the guy who I originally like did the Homestuck cosplay with. I dated him from junior year of high school until like this year.
Yeah.
So, and we always would meme about our cosplay. And what did we do? Oh, he never finished it. I finished
Okay.
Homestuck. He never finished it though.
Coward.
I know. Like, don't you want closure, dude?
Right. At least get to the end.
I know. Yeah, looking back on that, I'm like, I can't believe a guy, like, you know, usually like when somebody likes someone else, they'll like do something else to impress them.
Right.
Like, I don't know, like be good at a sport
I
or something.
learned Wonderwall on guitar.
Yeah. No, I have guys lie about reading Homestuck to get in my pants.
I
chat.
wish, honestly. Like,
I didn't realize how
goddamn.
funny that was until recently as
Yeah.
well.
That's impressive. Honestly. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a big commit. Like, you could learn like a really easy song on guitar and then like, you know, that's it. But like,
Yeah.
this man was like, I need to know how the typing quirk works. I gotta have like for the wiki open at all times. Cause like you guys would be hanging out in person, I
Yeah.
assume. So like he'd have to have like,
Yeah.
he'd have to know this stuff and be ready.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was, yeah. And I remember there was like there's in Homestuck, there's this instant messaging app that the characters use to talk to each other. It's called Pester Chum. And somebody made
Yeah, I heard about that.
one. Did you have it?
No, but
Or no?
I've seen it.
Because I had it,
Mhm.
and that's how I would talk to this guy who pretended to read Homestuck. He was like, "You need to download this," and I was like, "Okay," which is funny because
Wait.
he knew about it and I didn't.
So he hadn't even read it and he was telling you to download Pestachum.
Yeah.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah, I was convinced. Like, I wasn't even mad when he told me that he lied because I was like, at this point, you basically read it
Yeah, like you know it.
because of like all the shit you had to like remember.
He probably remembers the story better than you do.
Yeah, probably. Or he did like a Solix character study and that's all he knows.
Maybe, I don't know. Either way, that's some Chad behavior.
For sure.
Oh my god. Okay. So I feel like I should say that while I haven't consumed a lot of fan media, I technically have made fan media in that I have an ASMR channel.
Yeah.
And on that ASMR channel, not only did I do videos where I like read quotes from characters, I also had a series called Homestuck for Dummies, where I would, before stream, I mentioned that like I've thought about reading Homestuck on stream or like explaining it, but it would be a lot.
Yeah.
So it was a series where I explained Homestuck and like would summarize chapters. I never finished because I got to Act 5, and then at that point it was like, oh my god,
Dude, that's
so
like
much.
so much.
Yeah.
That's like a third of the entire story you summarized.
Yeah. Hold on. But like some of the videos are just straight up like 3 hours long, and it's for like,
That's crazy.
it'll be like Act 5, Act 1, Part 1. And it's just like, and then that was the point where I was like, holy shit. But that is my commitment to Homestuck online, I guess.
That explains why you remember
Mm-hmm.
like much better than me, because I do not.
That is fair. I have a problem.
Like my what's it called? My view of the story has been forever warped by fan media.
Mm-hmm.
Because when something like Homestuck gets as big as it is, people make a lot of like spin-off media / headcanon stuff.
Right.
And a lot of that becomes like almost fact in the fan base that like a certain character is the way that they are. And since I consumed more fan media than the actual story, my perception of like certain characters is probably completely wrong.
I kind of want to do like a thing where we go through some of the characters now, and it's just like you describe what you think of this character versus what I think.
Yeah,
we should do that.
Because I also was 14 as well, so like my coherency when it comes to media is like just beginning to like form, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like for sure. So
damn. Yeah, because I was like 19 when I first like even started reading. And
yeah, and I read right before the Gigapause happened as well. So it was like a drought of like official content.
Yeah.
So it was just a year of just like fan and consumption.
Right.
Because the fan base was like frothing at the mouth for updates.
Yeah. So for chat, there are parts of the story that are called pauses in Homestuck where like there'd be huge chunks of time without any new pages being uploaded, and the Gigapause was like a full year of like no Homestuck being uploaded.
Yeah.
So
and
the fans just had to feed themselves.
Remember how pervasive Homestuck was back then too.
Yeah.
Because people would be like posting up D8 like
yep,
update,
I remember.
because like Risco would say like update, and like it would be like fucking everywhere. People would be screaming about the new Homestuck update, and like it was like crazy. Like there were conventions like where almost all the cosplayers were Homestuck cosplayers. Like it was a lot. Like there were a lot of Homestuck fans. They're like the modern day what? I can't even like equivalent.
I don't think there is anything that is on that level, honestly.
Maybe like Dream SMP fans.
That man should not have put his face out there.
Even then, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like because I've gone back and I've like listened to stuff about like what it was like back in its prime, and just like how strong it was at conventions and how much of a problem it was at some conventions even.
Yeah.
And it's just like
a big issue was people wouldn't seal their face paint.
Right.
And it would like a gray face paint would like infect like every fucking surface at a convention.
God.
Like I remember seeing Tumblr posts of like Homestuck fans need to, it would be like fucking enter seal enter there enter face paint, stop buying cheap face paint. Like there would be this whole rant on like how to seal your face paint for Homestuck cosplay, and I would see that probably every week on Tumblr. And there was also like, you know the Sharpie bath story?
I do, but I don't think chat might not, so
I'm gonna pull it up. Somebody wanted to be okay, it's a this is a long story. It's a Tumblr post from Anime Expo 2012 by the user Phantom Shadow. I'm gonna read this out for chat.
Oh, please do.
Room with friends for Anime Expo. They have a few stragglers to make up for a last minute dropouts in the room. They don't know one of the girls too well, but they need the money. Girl is probably where the term ham beast originated, as well a few other words. So like there's a bunch of there's like some slurs in this post. Like I think ham, wait, hold on. Was this? I think ham beast is from like, I could be completely wrong. I think it's like when people are like crazy Homestuck fans. I could be completely wrong. I don't want to say what it is because I don't actually know, but that's what I assumed what it means. Basically she was like a weeb and stuff. We'll call her Terry. We get to the con Friday night and Terry is 3 hours late. This wouldn't have mattered, but we had to pay at check-in and she hadn't paid yet. Get settled in. She throws her stuff all over the room and proceeds to start yakking about her new favorite thing, Homestuck. Forward, I don't mind Homestuck itself, but I hate the fandom. Saturday rolls around. Terry is cosplaying a troll from Homestuck, the one with the red eyes and the Libra symbol, so Trezzy. She locks herself in the bathroom. She says, I need to get into my troll makeup. Don't come in. 2 hours later, she still isn't done. There are 2 people in the room with trendy blood costumes, and myself and my friend have makeup that takes at least an hour to apply. Plus, we all need to shower. Not that all our costumes automatically take priority, but 2 hours, really? We notice a funny smell coming from the bathroom. Door is locked, and she won't let us in. 15 minutes later, we start to get really suspicious. Friend decides to shimmy open the door. Her purse and valuables are in there, and she needs to go. Gets the door open. Terry is sitting in the bathtub, naked. The bathtub is filled almost halfway with what we later found out was 70% alcohol and Sharpie dye. Bottles and Sharpies everywhere. It was all over the walls, on the tile, on almost all the towels, on several articles of clothing and bags in the bathroom. What she says? I was going to clean it up. So basically she tried to dye herself gray in a bathtub, and she gets kicked out of the room and pays $700 from her, like for like damage fees, and then she gets skin poisoning from trying to dye herself gray.
Yay. Also, hello Scotty, welcome, and thank you for following.
Hi Scotty. So that was like basically the internet's perception of Homestuck fans for like a very long time. Was that like, ugh.
There's also stories of like, and videos of like, they'd be at a restaurant near the convention and they'd have a bucket and they'd be like spitting into it and passing it around.
Oh, we have to explain the bucket thing.
Oh, we do. I forgot. Can't really just clean sharp. Yeah, that's fair.
So in Homestuck, the trolls are like aliens, right? So as you would assume, like aliens don't breed the same way that humans do, right? So
kind of wacky.
This is canon in the Homestuck universe, where basically, quote unquote, filling a bucket is like slang for combining each troll's genital secretions, because you have to give it to like a mother grub to like have a Homestuck baby. The words incestuous slurry are used in the explanation. Yeah, it's kind of so like, since the fandom was filled with a bunch of 13-year-olds, they were like, haha, bucket sex, ha ha ha. Like that would be a thing. And people would even go so far as to like design genitals for the trolls that were different than humans.
I've seen those. Yep. The little tentacle looking things.
That's how deep in the fan base was that.
Yep.
Like, it was a lot.
I think one of my favorite things is someone asked Hussey, do trolls have boobs? And he went, it depends on what's funnier at the time.
Yeah, like he was just kind of like, whatever, you know, like he just kind of went with anything.
Yeah.
I have to grab something like really quick, so I'll be right back. Like 2 seconds. Sorry.
So yeah, Homestuck fans are a little wild, a little wacky, and they were all horny teenagers, so that was fun. Because for some reason, when the trolls got introduced into the story, the fan base went from, I guess, like late teens, early adults, people who would understand programming humor, to a lot of like 13, 14-year-olds. And Yeah, it was a fun time. It was great, except it wasn't. Kind of, not gonna lie, kind of glad I missed out on that bit. So yeah, how do you guys like Homestuck, chat? Like you're missing out, frothing at the mouth to start reading. Don't worry, I understand. It's an experience. I don't know how else to put it. Knew a lot about Homestuck via osmosis. That's fair. That's fair. It's probably the best way to experience Homestuck. Yeah, I've tried to get a lot of people. I've tried to get to read Homestuck, read Act 1, and then stopped reading. But it's interesting because Act 1 is so different from like what I would consider Homestuck proper, which like Act 5 I would feel like is when Homestuck blew up. And I feel like it's such a different story at that point, and very different tone. And also there's like 40 characters at that point. It's a lot. Like because like originally in Homestuck they had the it's like the Cosby Tops, Muppets, the Strider Bros, the Trolls, so much about the Trolls. Yeah. That's like the big thing that got people into Homestuck was the Trolls. Oh boy. Vague memory from back in middle school where someone who...
Hi.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah, that was about what I had knifing. I was explaining to chat that when Homestuck blew up in Act 5, the fan base became mostly like 13-year-olds.
Yeah, I was one of those 13-year-olds for sure.
Hell yeah.
I was the cringe.
It's interesting though, because it starts off, there's like so much like programming humor and stuff in the first act, and that I still don't understand half of it, but and then like you get to Act 5 and it's like teenage drama, even more so in Act 6.
I know a bunch of people who were my age and just skipped to Act 5.
Really?
Yeah, people would skip to Act 5 just because they wanted to get to the part with the trolls.
Oh, I feel like I've heard somebody say they did that. They started Act 5, caught up, and then read back up to Act 5.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense though. Skippers. But yeah, no, I agree. Just read the whole thing.
Yeah, it won't make sense if you don't read the whole thing.
Right. Also, because there's a lot of reveals in Act 5 about like these characters you only kind of vaguely know, and they has a lot more payoff when you're like, oh, this is Carcat. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And then at the end of in Act 5, Act 2, when Carcat has his first talk with John from his perspective, that was such a good moment that you won't. It's like not the same if you haven't been there the whole time.
Yeah. Because there's like a big thing where like it's revealed that like the trolls are watching the kids, and like it doesn't matter as much if you skip up to 5.
Right.
You know. Because
like when they first show up, you don't even know they're aliens. Like it's just like, who's this weird person? This weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, haha, it's an internet troll. I get it. No, you don't understand.
They're actually aliens. They're trolls.
Yeah. But yeah, you miss all that by skipping, and then I don't know, it's not the same.
Yeah, it doesn't really work because at the beginning it feels very silly. And then as soon as you get to like Act 4, Act 5, the stakes rise.
Yeah, it's so
fast.
It's so small at first. It's literally it's called Homestuck because it starts off with literally John trying to get out of his house to get to the mailbox.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. That's one thing I really love about Homestuck is like the escalation of the scale, and it just always somehow got bigger. It never like stopped like I feel like a lot of things they hit power creep where it's like technically if they're like the big bad guy is stronger, but it doesn't really feel like it, because like Dragon Ball Z I've read, but like Vegeta shows up at the beginning of it and he's like, I'm gonna blow up the planet.
Yeah.
And then you get to Frieza and he's like, I'm gonna blow up the planet. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not impressive though. That other guy could do that. And you get to Boo like... and he's like, I'm gonna blow up the planet. And it's like, oh,
come up with something else, please.
Yeah. Blow up the galaxy or something.
Interesting about like the first 5 acts of Homestuck is we don't see a villain. Really. Yeah.
The closest we get is Scratch.
Yeah.
But all he does is like be like, I'm gonna summon the real good bad guy.
Yeah. Something really interesting about Homestuck is it was able to keep such a big fan base while hiding the actual villain like the whole time.
Yeah.
And once the villain, dude, the stuff with Calliope and Caliborn, I love Calliope. She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's a great character.
I love the cherub stuff. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, they like reveal the villain, but then they also reveal him the same way that they would a new character. So you see their point of view for like a good like a lot of chapters actually.
I mean, after a certain point, Caliborn just has like sections where we just see like what he's been up to. We just keep like checking in on him like he's just any other main character. We just keep going back. It's like, oh, here's what he's done this off screen, and here's him talking to these dudes. And
yeah, thinking about him, I actually think he's probably one of the better parts of like the later acts.
He's for sure
just an interesting character for sure.
And I love that like most of what you see of him isn't him being like in most things it's like Dragon Ball Z, to go back to, it's like typical anime, like they would show up and they'd like beat the shit out of somebody and be like, haha, now you know I'm evil and strong. But Caliborn just like messages people and he just says like annoying things, and that's kind of most of what you see him do.
Yeah, he just like kind of sits in his room and is a dick for a while, and then he gets massive and tries to blow up the planet and like the universe basically.
It's wild. But like I feel like that's such a good way to like make a villain, because it's like you literally see like the beginning, like he was just some guy, and then you see like it escalate, and he's just kind of a dick. That is kind of what happened with Sephiroth, actually. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of a dick.
It reminds me of, I'm trying to remember what there was like, I just thought of someone and it like went in my ear then out the other ear, you know?
I hate that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, going back to Naruto, I feel like I mean, it's not done as well, but like Orochimaru is like a likable villain in Naruto, at least in my opinion. I really love Orochimaru. I feel like it's kind of similar with Caliborn, like, and Sephiroth to an extent. Like they're all very appealing villains.
Right.
So like you're interested in them besides the fact that they are what creates like the conflict of the story.
Right.
And there was a lot of build up. Like it's interesting because the later acts of Homestuck, like I know a lot of people say that like the later acts of Homestuck are the most interesting, like 5 and 6. There's a lot of like we've talked about like the good stuff, but I think there's a lot of like personal wish fulfillment that goes on in Homestuck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Through Hussey. And for those of you who don't know who Andrew Hussey is the creator of Homestuck. Worked very closely with Toby Fox for a long time. Toby Fox lived in Hussey's basement for a short period of time, and composed music for Homestuck. Like Megalovania, that was for originally it was a Homestuck song.
Yep.
Not for Undertale, it was for fucking Homestuck. And I remember when Megalovania blew up again, I was like, I listened to this before it was cool.
Yeah, that was so, because when I got to Sans and it was like beat it, I was like, no
not again.
Oh yeah, it was also in the Earthbound Halloween hack, but I don't recommend playing that, and neither does Toby Fox, because it has a lot of, Toby was a lot younger, and it just a lot of slurs and stuff
It's
that
the
he's
same
not
with
proud
Homestuck
of.
for sure.
Yeah. He doesn't Toby has basically said you can play it, but like I'm just telling you now, it's not good. Like it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hussey did a lot of like personal bullshit. Like he even self-inserted himself into the comment comic or whatever. And like there's a character that's like obsessed with juggalos. Like me and Aito were just talking about how we think that like Hussey's like a closeted juggalo.
For sure. I don't even think I know.
Yeah, like based on like his media choices and like what he's been doing lately. He also like really wants to fuck one of his characters.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of gross, seeing as they're written to be like teenagers.
He is an adult man writing a story about like I don't know, like 15-year-olds at that point. I don't remember.
Yeah, 15, 16
and
year olds.
he doesn't there's a lot of things this could branch off to that we're not going to get into on stream, but
yeah,
basically there's just I'm going to try to find the actual panel and put it in like the little thing, but yes, his self-insert just openly wants to bang the 15-year-old girl
trolls.
Character.
Yeah.
That he wrote.
It's like, oh, they're a troll, so like it's not human age or whatever, but like they're written to be teenagers. Like, shut up, internet.
The humans are like 15 and they're written to be the same age as the trolls. It's weird.
Yeah, it's for sure like yeah, Homestuck is like an interesting piece of media, but the guy who made it is like, he hasn't been canceled because I think that by the time we had gotten to like the cancel area of the internet, like people were either forgot or were too young to like have gotten to that part, because like all of the weird shit is like buried within pages and pages and pages of webcomic, and nobody's gonna read Homestuck just to cancel Hussey.
I kind of think that I think people also just kind of to an extent got like what's the word, like numb to like Homestuck in that regard. Like I think
yeah, because
we're at a point where no one cares enough.
Slurs in it.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that because for the time it was so normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the thing that I was reading to you earlier, like the Tumblr post, it had the R slur in it.
Yeah, that's in a lot of early Homestuck.
I like skipped over it because I was like, I don't
actually
know.
When I was doing the Homestuck for Dummies, there was like a part that I was like, I'm gonna read the specific part because I think it's funny, and I like half said the word because I was just kind of reading and I had to like bleep it out in the thing, and I was like, but that was in like Act 5, and I was like, I forgot that it like this deep in, because that's the thing is also I forget that like Homestuck started in 2009 and the Act 5 was 2010. Like, I don't know.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh
yeah.
My god.
June 2010 was when we got Act 5. April 2009 was when Homestuck started.
That's crazy.
Like initial Homestuck, Hussey was putting out like pages a day. It was actually pretty crazy from what I've seen,
like,
at least.
I feel like we have the internet and like social norms of like what is okay to say and what isn't okay to say has changed like so fast.
Yeah.
And I think that Homestuck is actually a really good like time capsule of like what was socially appropriate in media.
Yeah, it is. It totally is, because like none of this stuff like bothered people at the time. Like this was like,
yeah,
I think Homestuck was considered like woke even to a degree at the time.
Yeah, because people forget how like right-wing the internet was for a very long time, or like just generally kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like with how it treated people. Like there's a lot of like if you like, I feel like if I went back and read it now, I'd be like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Specifically like stuff with like Dave and his older brother, and
like
the slurs and like characters that are underage. Because like when you're a teenager, I feel like a very young teenager, I think that like adults being interested in minors isn't really like, you don't understand.
I've thought about that a lot
how-
actually, because like
Yeah.
I feel like I read a lot of stuff where it was like, and I knew someone in middle school who was like, oh, I'm dating a 21-year-old, and I just went, oh. And I just was like, at the time I was literally like, that seems a little old, but it didn't like freak me out. But like, I don't know, when you're a kid, you just like don't.
You don't understand how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like you get that, like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Hey, Kanji.
But like when you turn like 20-ish, like
You don't
when I
realize
turned
how much
19,
difference there
like,
is.
Yeah, you're like, oh my fucking god, like what?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so bad. Like I had a friend in high school who dated. He was like 16. He was dating a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and like even now, like when I was like that age, I was like 19. I was like, this is, I could never.
Yeah.
It's like once you hit 18, every year after that is such a difference in maturity.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
It's yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I feel you.
it's like super normal in like anime too. Like when I was reading, like as a kid, I would consume so much shoujo.
Oh yeah,
manga.
yeah. There's the dude's always like weirdly older in those.
Do you know Shugokara?
I don't think so.
It's like another magical girl anime that came out around the time that Tokyo Mew Mew did. In the manga, the main character, she's like 12 or 13. The love interest is like 18, and it's like normal.
Oh, you know what? In Sailor Moon, she's a middle schooler. Fucking, I don't remember his Japanese name, but Damien, he's in college.
Yeah, I think it's actually appropriate in the manga, but for some reason in the anime they changed it
really?
to be, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I think he was 17, which isn't great, but it's better than college.
It's hard to remember because I've seen both, so I just remembered like. But there is on the flip side of that, there is an entire arc in Sailor Moon in the manga where Chibi Usa like makes herself look older so she can try to seduce and bang her dad, and she becomes the villain.
What?
And Chibi Usa, you know, for anyone who doesn't know, Chibi Usa's like elementary
daughter.
schooler, yeah, and their daughter, yeah,
What
from the future.
the fuck?
That's like
What
a
the
full,
fuck,
that's a whole
bro?
thing. It was so weird.
Like, it's crazy how much this has changed over the last 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
because that would not, well, like, it could happen in anime, yeah, now, but people would be like, what the fuck? Like, back then, people were like, okay, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, what?
Okay, I pulled up Shugokara on my anime list. So the main character is Amu, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ikuto is the
Yeah.
love interest, I
So
think.
Ikuto is 17, and it lists Amu as being 11 to 13.
Yeah. And they have an age-appropriate love interest for her as well. That
Really?
isn't Ikuto, and she ends up with Ikuto instead of the age-appropriate love interest.
That's weird.
It's whack as hell. It's so weird.
Yeah, but no, I didn't even think about how like normalized it is in like a lot of shoujo and stuff. I feel like there's
Yeah.
another one I've read, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Fruits Basket wasn't great
Yeah. Fruits Basket
either.
is weird. I don't know.
Like, I love Fruits Basket, but
Yeah.
like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, no.
I feel like also a lot of romance stuff, it's like you're reading it and you're like invested, and then you kind of stop and think about it and you're like, it's not a very good relationship actually. I
No.
don't know about that. I mean, I won't lie, there is something fun to like reading a toxic relationship. I think it can be fun
for sure. I
for
mean,
sure.
Stalking got popular for a reason.
Yeah. But I think that I think there are some pieces of media that treat it a little too like normally, I guess, if that makes sense.
Fruits Basket was
Yeah.
like, it recently gone anime, second anime. Have you read it or watched it?
I have watched the original.
Okay, so this is in the original, so I can kind of talk about this. This is like kind of spoilers for season 1, so if any of you like care, I would maybe mute for like just a second. But you know how like Kyo's like martial arts teacher like shows up out of nowhere
Yeah.
and like takes off his bracelet and he goes like sicko mode.
Right.
So in the new anime, I was like, and then he's like, "Oh, Toru, go fix this."
Mm-hmm.
Like a literal adult, like an adult telling like a 14-year-old girl to like go deal with whatever the fuck he just did. He was like, he needs to do this himself against like Kyo's consent, like all that stuff was already awful. And then he goes and sends Toru, who like it's literally none of her fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's already traumatized out of her mind after her mom died, like all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
And then they have this scene where Kyo is like this monster and they're like in this like riverbank and he's like yelling at her like, "I don't understand like why you're trying to help me, like go away." And he literally stabs her in her arm and it's like a flesh wound. And then they frame this as like it being okay.
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. It's just weird.
Like that shit was so normal for media back in like the early 2010s, like early 2000s. Like I was watching this like last year and I was like, I saw this as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and you just went, yeah, cool. I like this. Yeah, no, totally.
I was like, this is peak romance.
Yeah, exactly.
And the adults are totally not inappropriate in any way, shape, or form.
That's the weird line where it is for me, because it's like I can read it as an adult and go, well, it is fiction, but then there's also like but also this this stuff affected me as a 12-year-old. It did affect my perception of stuff.
The shoujo anime, like one of the like great like pillars of shoujo anime.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was for kids, like 12-year-old to like 17-year-old girls.
It was a shoujo, not a josei.
A josei, yeah. And like it's not it. If I was like showing my daughter an anime that is appropriate, even though it's like made for her age range, no.
I've thought about that a lot. Like if I probably will never have kids, but if I did, like
same.
What animes could I like? What animes? The animes. What anime could I?
Cartoons.
What anime could I show them and like not feel weird? Because it's like I don't know. There's so many where it's like, oh yeah, this is fun. Oh wait, I don't know if I want to show that to like. I don't know if I should have been watching this as a kid, and I don't know if I should be giving it to my kid.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's
As a kid, I was like pretty good at like self-regulating media.
I was not.
Because my parents were like so strict about it, and like to an extent, like I didn't want to see, you know, like some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, because I was like, I don't want to.
Right.
But there are so many things that like if I like part of the reason why like I like am very kind of vocal about anime opinions is like I kind of feel like now that like we have adults who grew up on anime, we can like let parents know like, hey, maybe this is not age appropriate, even though it's like really, really popular.
So because the thing is like the problem is that Chainsaw Man,
it's bro.
For example, I love Chainsaw Man. I think it's amazing. I think
I've read the whole manga, so you don't have to spoil anything. Don't worry.
Yes, if you don't want spoilers for Chainsaw Man, mute and then set a timer for like 60 seconds. I'll try to do it fast. Basically, though, Chainsaw Man, a lot of crazy shit, a lot of fucked up shit. That is in the same genre, the same genre where we have like him ripping through monsters and gore everywhere and like naked ladies and all over the place, and the fucking Gun Devil arc, and that's fucking just so much like
and all
emotional
the stuff with like
shit.
Older women and Denji as well.
You know what, I didn't even think about that a lot of that happens in that manga.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is like I normally would be very like, this is horrible. Like I don't think like this is like serving the story, but it kind of does drive home the main point of the story.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Like you're supposed to be like, oh, like that's kind of weird.
Like it's about control.
Like that one chick that like that threw up on him after taking
Yeah.
him back to her. Like that whole
Oh, I
bit,
can't wait to see that scene animated. Oh boy.
that whole bit, I was like, is this actually gonna happen? Like, what? This is happening?
Yeah.
It was so, I don't know. It was just,
Yeah.
it was crazy. I don't know. I love it though. I love Chainsaw Man. Anyway, that is in the same. I'm trying to think of a good, like, very kid friendly show.
Well, I think
but like it is a
My Hero
shonen.
Academia.
Oh yeah.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Night and day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like Chainsaw Man reminds me a lot of Evangelion.
Totally.
like-
Yeah.
Yes, you can watch this when you're 16.
Hmm.
However, the themes won't make sense to you until
I
you're
agree.
like 20-ish.
I didn't
at
watch
all, because
even.
I watched Ava as a 14-year-old. I
Oh,
liked
God.
it,
Yeah.
but I watched it again as an adult and I was like, this show is so much better because I have like the life experience to like understand like
Right.
Misato's like issues and like all that stuff. Like when you're a kid, like you think you get it, but you don't.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't watch it until I was 25 or 26, and so like I went into it my first time as an adult, and I was like, this is fucking genius. But if I had
Yeah.
watched it as a kid, I would have been like, ooh woo, Asuka's so cute and tsundere, haha.
Literally. Yeah, you would have been the internet's representation of Ava.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like, for example, like I don't think this is ever gonna get animated. My favorite manga is Fire Punch.
Okay. I feel like I've heard of that.
It's the same mangaka as Chainsaw Man. It was
Oh shit, well I gotta read it then.
a property they made right before Chainsaw Man. And there is some fucked up shit in that manga. And like I said, I'm usually like one of those people who's like, you know, it's like you shouldn't have like this stuff on screen, like it's not furthering like any sort of like commentary.
Right.
Like usually like anything non-consensual is like fucked up. However, like it was written to be disgusting to the reader. And usually I don't think that like it's necessary, but I think it was done in a way where like it's actually really does drive home the point of the story.
Right.
And a lot of popular shows that have like issues about that stuff, it's just not tasteful.
Right, I get you.
And Homestuck is like not tasteful about
No.
it. It doesn't further the story like it would in Chainsaw Man, or like drive home the like the theme of like Denji being controlled by like manipulative people his entire life. Like, for example, like Hussey wanting to fuck Vriska, or
Does
like
not
any
further
of
the
the
story.
weird. Like it doesn't further the story. It's just dumb as fuck.
It's just
like,
weird.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it when I was reading it, it was like haha, and then it happened again, and I was like ha, and then it happened again. I was like, oh, Hussey, stop.
It's like, can you hear me stop?
Yeah. It's like if Vriska was like 23, I'd be like, that's a little weird.
Sure.
You're kind of weird, but like, you know what? It's your
Like, it's
story.
kind of funny.
Yeah. But Hussey was like late 20s writing this.
He's like
And-
40 now.
Yeah, he's old, which means we're getting old.
Yeah.
It's okay. He's a crazy juggalo. We'll just pretend he doesn't
Yeah, we
exist.
can talk about that too.
Oh god. Okay. I feel like we should talk about Gamzee as like a
Yeah.
starting point.
So talking about problematic characters.
Yeah.
And I don't like using the word problematic because it makes it feel like, oh, I'm just a Puritan. But like Gamzee is like a bit different. So
Built
and
different
I
in the
kinda
bad
realized
way.
this recently too. So like, do you guys know what a juggalo is?
I assume everyone here has to know what a juggalo is, right?
It's kind of a niche thing, I feel like.
I don't know. I've spent more time on the internet than I should have in my entire life. I grew up on Newgrounds. I found hentai before I found porn. Like, so for me, it's like
Newgrounds does shit to your brain.
it sure did, and I turned out a degenerate. So, Anyway, so to me, a lot of this stuff's like, yeah, everyone. I dated a juggalo, actually. I forgot.
What?
Yeah. When I was 14.
Okay, pause. Hold on. Are you comfortable giving details? I'm very interested.
They weren't as... When I was dating them, I never saw them, like, actually put on makeup. I don't know if they did.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't like I never went to them to any sort of concert, so I don't have anything like super juicy.
Yeah.
But they had every ICP album.
What the fuck? That's
we're a
actually
big fan.
crazy.
And I at the time I was like, I didn't know about Juggalos at the time or ICP, and I was like, this music kind of sucks. I don't really like this. And I didn't say anything. And then like later, when I learned more about Juggalos, it like one day it just was like, oh god, she's definitely worn like icy Juggalo makeup since then.
Oh my god.
For sure. I know it. I feel it in my bones. So yeah.
Oh god.
She was crazy, so you know it fits. She tried to stalk me after we broke up through my friends.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That's so scary.
Yeah, it was being talking to your friend and going, by the way, this person keeps messaging me asking personal details about you is not a it's a wacky time.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a juggalo.
Oh,
Ever.
that's probably for the best.
Yeah. So, well, there's also like the gang aspect too, as well. So for chat who doesn't know, juggalos are like, there's this group, this music group. It's like a hip hop / rap group called the Insane Clown Posse, or like ICP. And like they've made like they're like little, it's like they're almost like a cult actually.
Yeah.
But not religious, of like people who wear clown makeup and like drink Faygo and like what they like wear face paint.
They what is it, the dark
Horrorcore,
the dark carnival or something they talk about? I don't
Yeah.
know, it's weird.
and like they've made like gangs and shit, like
Mhm.
and have done like arson stuff and like I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's
a
kind of bad.
it's a deep rabbit hole that I
basically.
haven't really dived into, but I feel like if
Googled.
I don't know if I want to.
So TLDR, it's a little sussy.
Mhm.
Like illegal shit has happened basically. And one of the trolls in Homestuck, Gamzee, is a juggalo. Like
Mhm.
that's his whole thing. And it's kind of played off for humor.
Yeah.
But then like it starts to become like a recurring theme. Like I
Yep.
remember that one of the plot points in like one of the Homestuck universes is like one of the members of the Insane Clown Posse becomes president,
Oh yeah, they become dual presidents, I think.
and they like burn down the White House,
Mhm.
which is a direct reference to like juggalo gangs like committing arson on
Yep.
buildings and stuff. And like Gamzee is like a motherfucker. Like
Mhm.
he murders like half the cast of like the trolls or whatever,
Yeah,
just because he's crazy.
it's
And
wild.
he's framed as like a villain and like awful, and you know, the codpiece situation. And,
Oh, the cod piece. Yep.
and the fan base is like, ooh, I ship him with all the like
Yep.
all these people he murdered
Yep.
brutally.
Wait. So going back, didn't you say the guy? The guy. Now we can get into this. Didn't you say the guy that you did Nepeta with was
Yeah.
Gamzee? Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
How'd that go?
That relationship ended somewhat badly. Just saying, like,
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
foreshadowing 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I said, when shit like that happens, the fan base, like back in the day, is like, I don't care that he brutally murdered this character, I'm gonna ship them.
Yep.
But since you've played the most recent game, you can, like, I guess it would be better if you went into like Hussey's connection with Juggalos or whatever.
Okay,
Probably.
so I haven't beaten the game. I don't even actually remember what it's called. Shit, I'm gonna open up Steam. Well, no, I'll open it up on my phone. It's probably faster. Don't have to log in. Anyway, so Andrew Homestuck Hussey.
Oh my god, the first picture you see is him in Juggalo makeup.
Yeah, I was just about to put that picture on screen if I can find a non-WebP. So Andrew Hussey left Homestuck after Homestuck proper ended because
in 2016, I think.
yeah,
it
yeah.
ended.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, just open. Thank you. Anyway, so he left and he did an outline of Homestuck 2 after doing the epilogues, which I guess we have to go into the epilogues in Homestuck 2 at some point.
I don't know anything about those besides
boy.
like the whole controversy about like the transgender stuff, which is pretty shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll get there.
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so Mr. Hussington went off on his own. He wanted to do his own thing, but you know what? Honestly, fair. A lot of people have different opinions on the ending of Homestuck, but I really just would have been happier if it had ended and then Hussey went, Homestuck is over. Like nothing else Homestuck related will ever happen. Goodbye.
Yeah, because it had been going for 7 years at that point. It had an explosion. Like, he made so much money off of it. Oh, we could talk about the games too.
We do need to talk about the games.
Like the Kickstarter.
Oh my god, that.
And the scam.
Oh, yeah. To finish up the Hussey story, he has made a game where the main character is basically a juggalo who slowly attempts to convert other people of the world into juggalos. And I didn't finish the game, but the way it was going was basically, it seemed like she was going to be like the clown queen and like take over the world. And it's fucking wild. And like the moral of the story seems to lean in the direction of, oh, she's the correct one here, like morally good character. She's on the right path, at least from what I saw. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I guess he just fucking, he tricked himself into being a juggalo. Good job, Hussey.
I'm trying to find the
Games Kickstarter scam.
new game. Like, I think there was something, I don't quote me on this.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was something that, like, he kind of, I think it might have been Black Lives Matter. I don't quite know. Don't quote me. I saw something that, like he was kind of disrespectful to, like, a political movement in his game. And I'm trying to find it because it was, like, a bad look.
I think I kind of know what you're talking. I'm not going to lie. There were parts of that game where I just started, like, clicking, because it's, like, all dialogue, basically. So there were parts where I was, like, I would read, like, every other sentence and like skim through before I stopped playing. So, but like, yeah, I think I have an idea of that, but like not enough to like go into it. I'd have to replay it, but I think
I'm like trying to find what it is. I don't remember, but I remember reading something and it was like, because like, again, like, don't quote me because I don't want to make a statement and be wrong. But I think the general consensus was like, this is a bad look. As far as I know.
Cyclonials, that is the name of the game. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. I played it came out in chapters, and I remember playing the first chapter and going, well, that kind of sucked, but maybe it's just a slow start. And then I played chapter 2 and went, that also kind of sucked. And then I played chapters 3 and 4 and I went, okay, well, maybe I'll finish it. And then I didn't.
TLDR, it was like pretty political, and like it was a bit like it was hard to tell what he was trying to say, basically.
Yes, very much.
With the game. Because like usually I wouldn't say, oh, this game is like political, but like it was like pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
In like a way that's like not very like
and
nuanced.
It was like it came out, it was the first piece of media I saw that come out, because I'm pretty sure, unless I'm just dumb and remembering wrong, it takes place like after the start of the pandemic.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was the first piece of media. That might have
been what it was that people didn't like.
Yeah. And like, because like I think the main character lives on like an island that's normally gets a lot of tourists, and I think that a major plot point early on is that like it's kind of dead because of all of that. But yeah, and then
interesting,
which is interesting because that whole the fact that that's happening kind of gets dropped later on, and they're just having like large get-togethers later. So I don't know, that's actually kind of weird now that I think about it. But yeah, basically from what I can remember, they end up taking over the island. Like there's just like a clown army that just like kills all the law enforcement and takes over the island.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then they have like people, there's like other groups that are like doing the same thing in other parts of like the world. I think it starts in the US mainly, and it's like there was something like that happened in the US where like some town like basically had that happen to at least a degree. Like a section of the town was just like, they were just like people with guns, and like they wouldn't let police in or anything. So I assume it was like a reference to that.
TLDR, I think people just were like, this is a little bit insensitive based on like what's been happening.
It was based on things that were happening like currently in real time.
Yeah. And like all of Hussey's work is like, actually I don't know if it's worth getting into this, but TLDR, it was a bit
too on the nose,
I guess.
And not handled well.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about like that, we can kind of like say, because originally Homestuck, there was supposed to be a game that came out called Hive Swap, and it's out now, but this was like, when was it planned? Like 2014, 13?
Something like that, yeah.
Kickstarter went live.
They had a big Kickstarter and lots of drama.
It raised like $5 million.
Yeah. People really wanted a Homestuck game.
And there was nothing about it for, I'm looking at the timeline, for like, what, 5 years?
A long ass. I didn't know there was a game because by the time I caught up, it was so long after like they had gone silent that like I just didn't know it was a thing until they started like actually being like, hey, we're actually doing the game now.
So like people thought they got scammed.
Yeah. And
like,
you know what?
It was a lot of money.
You know what? Hot take. I played Hive Swap. They got scammed. It's not that fun. It actually, it's really fucking buggy.
According to this blog post, like, because a lot of this stuff is like he said, she said, like none of this has been confirmed, but
yeah,
like I think people were saying that like he spent the budget on making like the animations for like the new, or like the end of Homestuck.
Act 7.
Yeah, for Act 7, because like, so there's up to Act 6 chat, and then Act 7 is just an entire video of like how it ends basically, and it's like fully animated. So like on screen, on stream, the like white curtains behind us, that is like the opening of Act 7, and then it goes into like a whole 8-minute long video. and it's like high budget too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like Homestuck has had animation for sure,
But never on
like,
that level.
never on that level. Like the animation that they've had has been good. Like it's pretty high quality for sure, but
Yeah.
not on the same level that Act 7 was.
Right.
So yeah. There's been a lot of like weird scandals like that over the years that people have kind of collectively forgotten about, I think.
Yeah, that is the weird thing. Oh, see ya, Kanji.
Bye,
Take it easy.
Kanji.
That is the weird thing about Homestuck, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying before. Like people just kind of seem to have forgotten about a lot of Homestuck, and like I think that's why people don't really like get mad about it. Also, I put on screen like one of the things from like the end, near the end, right before Act 7.
Yeah, that's
it
like
shows
the quality
you like
of the animation.
yeah, compared to
It looks
everything
like
else
that.
I've shown you guys so far.
Yeah, it's high quality stuff for sure. It's crazy.
And there was
Like,
another animation too that was actually pretty high quality right at the end. That, to be fair, I was like, Collide. That was it. Act 6, Act 6, Act 6, Collide.
Sick.
That was so cool. Anyway. Yeah.
Opa Toby style.
Oh
the
my,
song.
so good. I love Toby Fox.
He came back to do music.
Yeah.
And the fans named it. This came out. Yeah, this is an 18-minute short. Oh my god.
Yeah.
18 minutes of animation is not cheap.
No. Like, yeah. So the rumors that it was spent on the animation at the end don't seem unfounded because, I mean, you had to pay for it somehow.
There's been way too many Kickstarter scandals, like just randomly over the years. Like, you would think that they would like make some kind of like contingency system for this.
You would think, but here we are.
Yeah.
You know who did a Kickstarter and didn't scam us is Toby Fox.
Yeah.
What a beast.
True.
Not only did he make Undertale, an amazing game, he put out the first 2 chapters of Deltarune for free.
I haven't played Deltarune yet, actually.
Oh my god. The first chapter is like pretty good, and then the second chapter, oof, amazing.
I love Undertale so much too, so I really should get around to it. I have no excuse. It's free, you know?
And you know what? Toby Fox was originally going to be like, was going to make people pay for chapter 2, because apparently like it's going to be like 7 chapters, because apparently it's like the longest chapter. And then the pandemic hit and he went, nah, you can have it for free, it's fine.
Yeah.
So fucking what a bro. Love that guy.
Yeah, Toby Fox is a Chad. Even wrote fan fiction for Sans and Reagan.
Yep. I forgot about that. Apparently 3, 4, 5 yeah, they are
Simultaneously. Oh dude.
Yeah, so he's working. Oh my god.
Well, and I think he said that he was kind of injured too, like he had to like kind of scale back production as well, which please Toby, take care of yourself.
No, definitely,
we all love you so much.
I can wait.
Yeah, I can wait too.
But Nightfang mentioned this earlier, but so go back to earlier Homestuck, to the forum specifically, where one of the things that was banned to talk about on the forum was characters being pregontinent. And Toby Fox, the Chad, said, what if I wrote an entire 30-minute musical wherein Dave impregnates, or no, John, wait, what was it? Oh fuck, I don't remember. No, Dave gets pregnant and then gives birth to John, and that is the plot.
Yep.
It is wild. It is amazing. I love it. It is worth listening to. Toby Fox.
And then he used the song for Pokemon.
He did, yes. That
So technically, we have a piece of Homestuck in Pokemon.
that man has sat down with Masahiro Sakurai and like hung out with him. What a
Dude,
what a legend.
I aspire to be as Chad as Toby Fox in my
Same,
life.
honestly.
Like, it's crazy what he's been able to get away with.
I love that guy. He's so cool. Timmy's also great. I love her.
Yeah. I think they're like, I mean, you never know, like, of course, like what somebody's personally like, but like, I feel like they are very genuine people based on their, like, the media they've created.
Yeah, I think so. Timmy streams, and I mean, it's about what you'd expect.
Her work is really cool.
Yeah, her art is so good. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a like unique style, man. Bravo.
Yeah, she's great.
Bravo. Also, I like in the credits of Undertale when it's like who designed the characters, and when it gets to the ones that Toby designed, you're like, yeah, I see it. I see the difference here. But they're still all great. I love them all.
Yeah.
I'd kiss Sans. I'll say it.
Is he your Tumblr sexy man?
Oh, for sure. When I found out he won, I was like, as he should.
Reagan is my Tumblr sexy man.
You know what? That's fair. And honestly, I love all the things that have come out where they stand up and they're both like covered in like bruises and scratches, and they're like, all right, let's good game. Like they go and hang out. I don't know. I love it.
My favorite is like them kissing. Just anybody drawing them
Yeah.
kissing. It's like so funny. I saw one of them, like, you know that like pose of like the guy who kind of looks like Andrew Garfield, like doing the peace sign over the grave.
Yeah.
It was that, but then it was like Queen Elizabeth.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen that.
Because it was like the timing.
Yeah. I remember. There were posts that were like all the crazy shit that was happening all at once, and just like how psychotic it sounded when you just like put it all together.
Yeah.
That was a weird week.
It was a really weird week. But if you're like chat, if you're like interested in Homestuck and like but don't want to read it, you can just watch the animated parts. It's cool.
Oh yeah, you can look up. You can just look them all up. I can link it to you right now, actually.
Yeah, they're like all on YouTube, pretty much.
Homestuck, all S.
Like it won't make a ton of sense, but like they're cool to look at. So
yeah, 3 hours and 47
especially, like,
minutes.
Cascade, Collide, the one with Megalovania that I'm forgetting the name of.
Yeah, the Vriska one, I can't remember.
What is it called? Wake.
Oh
S
yeah,
Wake.
yeah.
I remember since there wasn't like an
Jackson.
official way to like listen to the song, I would like replay this like flash animation.
Yeah.
Because Megalovania was in it. I kind of like this. I don't know if I like this more than the Undertale one.
I
It
like
might
the
be
Undertale one
because
more.
it's like, oh, you do. It might
Yeah.
be because I have like nostalgia goggles though.
That's fair. I went straight from Homestuck into Undertale. Or wait. Yeah, I guess about the same time. I don't remember. I think Undertale came out before Homestuck ended.
Yeah.
So I would have. I had read Homestuck a good bit before I played Undertale, so they were kind of simultaneous for me.
Dude, I forgot about the waking world and the dreaming world. What the
Yeah,
frick?
that was really cool. Actually, I always liked that, like the dream selves.
I remember when. I'm trying to think of like what were some like iconic story beats that happened, because it was like I wouldn't normally say like, oh, that's important to talk about, like
Right.
for people who haven't read it, but like these were like fandom landmarks,
Yeah.
cultural happenings that people would like lose their shit over for like
Cascade
days.
broke multiple websites.
Yeah, Cascade crashed like
Newgrounds,
how many websites? Like 4.
Twitter,
Tumblr,
yeah.
the MS Paint Adventures website.
There was another
So
one.
much so that they had to upload it to YouTube, right?
Yeah, they did. Wild.
So Cascade was the end of Act 5 chat,
Mhm.
and it was this 13-minute long flash animation. I think it's my favorite Homestuck
That's fair.
animation.
It does so much to like rap. Like honestly, I think Hussey could have said, "I don't feel like making the rest of Homestuck by," and I would have been like, "Cool, yeah, okay."
Yeah, it's for the story. It does so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's super high quality. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
And it was like
Oh,
the
it's so
hypest shit
good.
ever for
Yeah.
like ever after that.
And they brought like a lot of like the big music people that have been doing songs for it up to that point together, and oh man, it's good shit.
Like if you like Undertale music, just go listen to the Homestuck soundtracks. You'll probably like them.
Yeah, they have a Bandcamp, although every now and then a song gets pulled because I think some of the people that made the songs like are like, I don't want to be associated with Homestuck anymore, goodbye. So they're like,
It's
they
unfortunate.
can't license it. Yeah, like there's one song, Temporal Shenanigans, which was like an extra song. It never appeared in the comic, but it's a really good song, by what's her name, Rachel Rose Mitchell, and it's on the Colors and I don't remember what it's called, Colors and Mayhem album, and it's really good. And then like I went to listen to it because like I had to when I got a new PC, I had to like I just said fuck it, anything I can download from the internet, I'm not gonna like transfer over, I'll just re-download. But in that in that period, it got removed from the Bandcamp, and then I didn't realize until way later. So I have to listen to the YouTube video that she uploaded.
What's your favorite Homestuck song? Is it that one?
That's a close one. Honestly, it's probably Black by Toby Fox.
That one's good. My
Jack
favorite is
Ascend.
Moonsetter.
Yeah.
It's just a nice song.
There's a lot of really nice music. Last major time Twitter got crashed was when Steve got into Smash. I didn't know it crashed back then. Holy shit.
I remember, like, you said Black, and then the beginning, like, just played in my head.
Yeah.
I haven't thought
It's
about
so
that song in
iconic.
so long.
I don't know, there was just something like that was like I like pretty much all the music in Homestuck, and I enjoyed the flashes up to that point, but there was something about when I like clicked like on, just Jack Ascend, and it started playing, I just like I ascended.
This was like another really big story moment.
Yeah,
for sure,
it was for
as
sure.
well. And then when like Dave got his god tier, that was a huge
Mhm,
moment.
mhm. We should talk about god
Everybody-
tiering and how that works.
I had a god tier hoodie.
Yes.
Yeah, I had it's funny because I became like a witch VTuber kind of on a whim,
Uh-huh.
but I
What-
did like
What was your class
when
pick?
I was a kid, I would like do like fan art or whatever, and I wanted
Uh-huh.
to make my own like god tier Homestuck
Uh-huh.
persona, and I was the Witch of Heart.
Nice.
So,
I was actually
Here we are,
I forgot.
10 years later.
I was gonna ask you what your class spec was.
Yeah, it's Witch of Heart.
Mine's Bard of Void. So
Nice.
yeah.
Wait, does the bard have the cod piece?
Sadly.
Nice.
I can rock it, it's fine.
I mean, your color scheme, I think, would work.
That's fair,
Like your
yeah.
VTuber color scheme. I should draw us as our god tier
Oh my god.
outfits.
Please, I will pay you.
That would be so sick, actually.
Look forward to that.
So for chat who doesn't know, Homestuck is technically SAO.
It is an isekai.
Yeah, it's you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah.
TLDR. And each person has a class based on their personality.
hmm
And how the fuck do you ascend? You have to like go to your area and like die.
So you have to go to your quest bed and die on it.
But you have to have like your other self.
Your dream
from
self still
another-
has to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are like the dream selves, and there. What is the? Is it waking self or is it the The gold one? I don't remember.
I think it's just, yeah, dream and waking. Something like that.
There's oh no. There's different areas for dreams. So there's like the
Oh yeah, Prospect and
the
Durst.
yellow area and the purple area, and it like depends on like which, like what your personality is. Durst and Prospect.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're whatever has to be alive, and then if you die on your quest bed, you res and you have all these powers now.
Yep.
Basically.
That's basically how you get to like your god tier, which is like now you have cool crazy powers and you can do a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wacky.
Certain characters are fucking broken, actually.
Totally. I don't like Friska. We talked about this. We don't like Friska, but I do think it was a really interesting way to introduce the quest beds and god tiering when Friska was like, "Hey, John, just go take a nap. It's fine. Just like lay down." And then you're like, "What is she doing?" And then Jack appears and just fucking stabs John, and you're just like, "What?"
You're like, "This bitch. What the
happened?"
Fuck?
and then he god tiers, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, you're like, what? Like he gets a long hat, and like, you're like, what is this? Yeah, it's really cool.
It's sick.
Like, some characters were so busted, they spent entire plot points trying to get them to god tier, like Jade and Dirk.
They had to make Jade fall asleep for major parts of the story.
Yeah. Who else is really broken? Like,
I mean, Dave is pretty broken at certain points. Like,
yeah, Dave and Dirk are pretty. Oh, not Dirk. Dave is more busted.
Yeah, because Dave, like they wouldn't have been able to win at the end in their fight with Terezi, Dirk, and Dave in Collide if Dave didn't have time powers. Like, he kept having to like bounce around.
Like, Homestuck becomes one of those, like, the power creep gets so whack, like time travel and like different dimensions become
time travel is basic shit.
Yeah, that's how complicated this story is.
It's so complex that Dave in like the third act is like he's already like, come on dude, like it's easy shit, like what are you doing, dude? Like, this is the easy stuff. So like it gets fucking wild.
Yeah, it's for sure like what I mean when I say I don't remember is because of this. Like, and if some people have like asked me like, oh Bear, can you like explain Homestuck to me? And I'm like, no, not really.
The whole reason I did that Homestuck for Dummies is because I was in VC with Via Nemo and they were like, explain it, and I started trying to explain it and I kept being like, well, I have to like explain how this works and then I got to go back to this first, and I was like, there's so much, it's so complicated.
Like, it's one of those stories where if you like explain mechanics and like rules of the universe, it spoils things.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's really difficult to like get somebody to read it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, seeing as how popular it got.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, because every like mechanic of the world is like has its own like bit where like the introduction of it is like a huge plot point and it like changes everything. Like, yeah.
And it doesn't stop. No,
it just keeps going. It's like it just keeps going up. Stonks.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
It is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. It goes up and up and up and up and up.
It doesn't stop until it ends.
Yeah, and then they made more.
Yeah, so Homestuck 2. I haven't read that.
Yeah. Have you read the epilogues?
I read a bit of one, but I didn't really remember.
I need to run to the bathroom and refill my water. So I'm going to leave you with chat, and then when I get back, I will go into that for you.
Okay. Sounds good. Take your time. Hi, chat. This is my stream now. What are you doing? Are you enjoying our little info dumping session? I feel like lately a lot of my content has been talking about cursed internet things, and it's been a good time for sure. Like, it's funny because I feel like since I've been so chronically online for such a long time, I've seen things cycle. It's fun. I enjoy hearing about other stuff other people like. I found some good stuff that way. That's good. Yeah, I recently did a Tumblr Sexy Man tier list stream, and I talked to, if you don't know, the Onceler is like the Tumblr Sexy Man because people used to make like a bunch of different iterations of the Onceler and like ship him together with himself. It's crazy. But then I found out when I was researching that people did the same thing for Sans, and it's like Homestuck and Undertale are like history repeating itself. It's so interesting. It's like, it's weird to like see this happening in real time, you know? I'm interested to see like what's gonna be the next the next iteration of like ridiculous media property explodes among teenagers, and teenagers consequently become menaces for like a good 2 years. I don't know. Would you guys pretend to read Homestuck for somebody you're interested in? Because that for sure happened to me. There's always something every few years. Yeah, it's interesting because Homestuck and Undertale are like directly linked too, which is kind of crazy. It's like wild to see the same things happen to different people. Local witch discovers time passes. Somehow. I have like recent Homestuck fan art actually. Let me see if I can pull up. Oh my god, wait. Let me see if I can pull up my old Homestuck fan art from DeviantArt. And I can send it to Ito. Because like this is like a time capsule of when I was in the Homestuck fandom as a middle schooler. Did I delete the Homestuck art? God, Jesus Christ. Okay, I have an image to share when Ito gets back. Oh god. Cringe, old artwork, no. It's so cringe. But here I am as an adult, making money off art. Gotta start somewhere, you know. For sure. I hope that like if the planet doesn't explode in the next couple years, like I hope that people are like able to write a history book about Homestuck. Like I'm gonna be what, you know, like how people have to interview like veterans of war, or like first-hand accounts of like historical events. I hope that like when I'm like 80, some person like comes to my retirement home and like interviews me about like my experience in the Homestuck fandom.
Hell yeah.
I have something to share. I found it.
Oh.
I have a vintage bear classic from DeviantArt.
Oh boy. I'm excited.
2013. This is like the most disgusting link ever because I don't want to dox my old DeviantArt, but
Oh my god. It's huh.
Like I said, Fanon
Yeah,
is delusional.
sure is. Sure is.
100% delusional.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, you can put it on screen.
Okay,
I told
okay,
chat.
okay.
I'd show them.
Okay. Save.
Oh God.
It's okay. I used to draw keyblades.
I should do Homestuck fan art now.
I mean, you'd be able to do a better job, so you know, that's something.
For sure, yeah.
Here you go, chat. I'm gonna put it over me.
Hey. You're welcome. Showing I hope this ends up in a textbook somewhere.
This was you and your boyfriend guy.
Dude.
Oh boy. There you go, chat.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed that awful drawing. Oh God. I remember drawing that in Manga Studio 4 on my laptop. I don't think I used a tablet.
Okay. So before we get into the epilogues and stuff, I did want to talk about the end of Homestuck and our thoughts on that.
I have a hard time formulating, like, I feel like this is like such a weird comparison.
Mm-hmm.
The ending of Attack on Titan and Homestuck are like the same thing.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Because these stories are so fucking long and filled with so much like intricacy and like nuance.
Yeah.
That it's almost impossible to end them in a satisfying way.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many loose ends to be tied up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I can't really be sad because it's quote unquote a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like a lot of people don't like it, but I can't think of another way to end it. You know what I mean?
That was exactly what I said when it ended and people got mad. I was like I basically knew, like, this is like, obviously I couldn't have like made it myself, but like I was like, this is how it's gonna end. Like, this is gonna happen. That's gonna go probably about like this. And there were a lot of the things that bothered me about it, because I pretty much have the same opinion as you, is like, I don't hate it, but because I can't really hate it because I feel like that was just, you have to end it, and you know. But like the thing that bothered me was like a lot of people would be like, but this doesn't make sense, and I'd be like, well, it does, because like, so like, first,
also, nothing in this fucking comic makes sense, so
yeah,
don't
first
complain.
of all, are we reading the same comic? Second of all,
Yeah.
Vriska shows up and she has like the house juju at the end, and she like drops it,
Yeah.
and it's like, what came out of the house? And I'm like, it's the kids. It's John, Dave, Jade, Rose, like,
Fucking forgot
obviously,
about
right? Like, to me it was obvious, but a lot of people were like, we don't know that, and I was like, yeah, we do. It, like, granted, I had read the comic more recently, but like,
Yeah, I think also people forgot a lot of stuff.
I think so.
Because
That's
you're not gonna
thing
go
with-
back and reread Homestuck.
right.
I didn't do it. Like, well, you did, but like, the general public is not
I am
going
a psychopath.
Like,
yeah, no, totally.
and then honestly, the best part about the end is Gamzee is stuck in that fridge forever.
Good.
There was nothing was said about him, so therefore my headcanon is he's stuck in the fridge forever, and I hope he stays there.
I definitely 100% head canon that the epilogues and Homestuck 2 are like, they didn't happen. It just ended.
Really?
Yeah, because of things that I'm going to
That's
tell
how
you
I
about
see it, 'cause I
them.
didn't read them.
Yeah. Also
Did I let
because
him out?
oh, He gets
Oh,
out,
no.
all right. He gets out. And more.
Oh no.
And
How much more
more.
damage can this man make?
A lot.
Oh dear.
The recipe said to chill in the fridge, but not for how long? Forever.
Leave
Kill
him in there
him,
forever.
please.
Freeze his cod piece off.
So
and
yes.
Slam it in a car door.
For me, I was fine with the ending because I felt like I didn't want a 400-page chapter going, this is how this wrapped up and that's how this,
Yeah.
like, I didn't need it. Just end it and go. I was so hoping for Hussey to just drop the mic and leave, and he didn't. He fucking didn't, and it was a terrible mistake.
Well, and didn't he also, the chat, there's also, like, at this point, there was a team behind Homestuck. It wasn't just Hussey anymore.
Right.
At the beginning, it was just Hussey. And he just, like, was like, hey, team, I'm leaving to go make my political juggalo game. Do whatever you want with this property that so many people hold near and dear to their hearts, and maybe make some money off of it. I don't know.
And do things they did. So so to kind of vaguely explain the end of Homestuck, the whole idea of the ending is that there is a theme throughout Act 6 that the beginning of a story is merely where you start the story, and that all stories basically form a circle within themselves, and technically you could start a story. It's kind of like a meta thing. Homestuck's very meta. I refer to it as meta narrative bullshit.
Yeah, and like if you've read Homestuck, you understand that there's like infinite timelines, and like the story's gonna infinitely repeat itself, and like since they have like characters from different dimensions, like I said, there's a bunch of bullshit with time travel. That doesn't even sum it up at how much bullshit there is. Like it's one of those universes that can continuously make content due to how the narrative has set up the world.
It's basically. So the ending of Homestuck proper, Homestuck 1, I guess, whatever, is that they completed the loop of the story. The story has gotten to the end where it would on a meta level loop back to the first page,
which makes everybody cry a little bit on the inside and on the outside.
And the characters that we have followed, except I'm not going to get into game over and how most of the characters are not the same characters anymore. I guess that's like kind of debatable though.
Died, low key, but like also not, because they have a second life low key at the same time. But
and you could argue that they have infinite lives. Anyway, but Game Over was cool. I did like Game Over a lot. I thought it was sick. I don't know, just like watching everyone duke it out, and then also cutting to John just like slapping Caliborn around and just them having a wimp
cool
fight.
That they put a pause right after that update.
That
was cruel. Because it ends with Terezi like falling into lava.
You can't do this to me.
Bitch, what the fuck?
I need her. Okay, so going into the epilogues, which I have only read once, so not as informed. But so basically the epilogues pick up, and you probably know this part, with like they've escaped the universe into like their own universe, because that was kind of the goal the whole time, was like you make a new universe and you go to it.
Happy universe.
So they went to that, and it's like in the future. John's like 20 something. I don't remember exactly how old. He's 20 something though. Like it's
adults.
They're adults finally. And John, which I do think this is a really interesting idea for John, and I like it, is that the idea that John, the main character, he was a hero throughout the whole story, and now that there's no heroing to do, he's just like depressed, and he just lays around, and he just kind of does nothing. He doesn't know what to do with himself. A lot of people like went on like, you know, he had a thing with Roxy, but Roxy ended up going and living with Calliope. You know,
My headcanon was Roxy was a lesbian this entire time.
that's fair. I liked John Roxy a lot when I originally read Homestuck, but since then I've been like, I don't know, it's cute, but I now kind of prefer her going and being with Calliope. But yeah, so, and then Jade, Carcat, and Dave are all living together. So basically, like, John, the main character, lives on his own and is depressed, and all his friends went off and like continued living lives and like are presumably happy.
This is Sword Art Online.
Yeah, fuck, you're right. Anyway, oh, at least his wife's not in a coma.
True.
Because he doesn't have one. So John then goes and talks to Rose, and there's one plot thread that has to get wrapped up that John has not done, which is that there is a thing called Caliborn's masterpiece within Homestuck. What an out of context sounding sentence. It makes so much sense though, honestly.
Wait, do I remember? Wait.
The Caliborn's masterpiece is the claymation thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was like one of my favorite parts of the whole story.
It's so good.
It looks so shit. I love it so much.
I love his shitty attempts at like art. I love him. I hate him, but I love him.
It's great. Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, so Caliborn, as we mentioned earlier, which also that's another name for Excalibur. That's a neat thing.
Caliborn's the main villain of Homestuck.
Yeah.
TLDR.
Yeah,
he's like the big bad.
baddie. Yep. So there's a part of the story where he becomes like the narrator, and he tells us about how one day in the future he's going to get ripped, as he puts it, and which is basically him getting to like his full evil and the bad guy mode. And he's going, okay, so before that happens, God, I hate, it's so complicated to explain Homestuck.
Yeah.
Basically all the human kids, there are 8 of them, are going to show up to fight Caliborn. And Caliborn is going to use an item called the House Juju to suck in the main 4 you meet at the beginning of the story, because empty Juju will like absorb things. We're not going into the Jujus, they're magic items, don't worry about it. It's complicated.
It's thing.
Yeah, it's anyway. So Caliborn uses magic item, eliminates four of the heroes that have come to fight him, and then Dirk uses heart magic to seal Caliborn and his posse into little Cal, which is a little puppet that's pops up throughout the story and is scary, and I don't like him.
Yeah, he's generally an asshole.
Yeah.
Puppets are like a huge thing in Homestuck. It's kind of weird.
I think that's another thing about Hussey. I think he's got something going on with puppets. I don't know what it is.
And puppets. I don't know what's up with him.
It's something. Anyway. So yeah, blah blah blah. They fight him. They get sucked into the house, and that's important because basically, like, Rose in the epilogue is like, John, you gotta go do that thing.
Like, help.
Like that's kind of like the final thing that he has to like tie up. So John gets a choice, basically. Does he go do that, or does he say, no, I'm done being a hero, I'm gonna stick around in the new world? So there's a timeline split, because of course there is. It's Homestuck. And the epilogues split into the meat route and the candy route.
What the fuck?
And the sort of, I guess, meta explanation for why they're called that is like the meat route is the crazy, like, you know, like the flashes like Jack Ascend and Wake and Game Over, where like a lot of like big plot things happen, is like the meat of the story, right? And the candy of the story, oh, no worries. You're good, no worries. Bear had to mute because there's a garbage truck outside. Oh wait, that's in chat. For some reason I'm stupid. Don't worry about me. Anyway, the candy of the story is like what people would do fanfics about. So like the characters like interacting and, you know, all that wacky stuff, like hanging out, having teenage drama, you know, that fun stuff.
Yeah, doing the bullshit.
Yeah,
for sure.
So the meat route is like John's like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. So he goes and gets like alternate versions of the other 7 kids, which is weird because like he gets like actual kid versions of them to join him in the fight, which I always found very strange.
So time doesn't pass the same way in the other universes?
John still has his what's it called? Retcon powers, so he can just like basically do whatever.
I forgot he had those.
Yeah, John has an ability to retcon the story. Except
meta bullshit as per usual.
Yep. He loses it in the candy. Basically, in the candy route, him choosing not to go back, it just goes away. Like only the meat route John has it for some reason, Homestuck reason. Conscripting children is against the Geneva Convention. I think we're well past that.
Homestuck is a Geneva Convention violation.
Yeah,
in itself.
I think every part of the Geneva Convention is broken. So in the meat route, he goes and does that. They get sucked into the house. John has a realization that he's depressed. They get shot out of the house in the part of the ending of Homestuck when Vriska drops the house. They fight Caliborn. They beat him, except everyone dies except John.
Of course.
And John gets Caliborn's meat con, candy con. What is this fever dream? Hey Don, welcome. We're explaining Homestuck. I'm sorry.
Hello. Homestuck is a fever dream. You just gotta, it's like JoJo, you just gotta accept it.
Yeah. So Caliborn's golden tooth gets stuck in John because he like bites him.
What the hell? That big ass mouth of his.
Yeah. And it turns out that that tooth specifically has a thing, like a poison, I think it was explained, that like kills you, but like in a meta way. So even John is not immune. Like he is dying slowly. Like
it erases him.
Yes, exactly. He is being slowly erased from the story.
He's Doodle Bob. SpongeBob.
Doodle Bob is basically the SpongeBob equivalent of Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. So then John is stuck floating, you know, the black hole that Calliope created at the end of the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's stuck floating around that in his dad's car. And
okay.
Yeah. And then we learn that Terezi has been like out there floating around in space looking for Vriska.
Why?
Because she wants. I'm so sorry. You're not gonna like where this goes. She wants to find Vriska. She wants to make up with Vriska. It's like her life's goal.
No.
Yes.
What? Okay, chat. This is like out of character as fuck. Terezi hates Vriska. Like,
yeah, it makes no sense. So Terezi is the horns on my PNG set are Terezi's horns. Actually, I could put an image of Terezi. So Terezi is blind, and the reason she is blind is because her and Vriska were like rivals. Well, they were like partners, but then they became rivals. Basically, Vriska got mad at Terezi after like a petty argument. So Vriska just straight up blinded Terezi.
And she's been blind this whole the whole time you know her.
Yeah.
Like she has like valid reason to hate Vriska.
Even in her flashbacks, I think there's like 5 panels where she's not blind. So like,
yeah.
But so there's 2 things. Actually, we can go back to Homestuck proper to explain why this is out of character. So do you remember when Arania, or whatever her name is, the other spider bitch from the Ancestors, she healed Vriska's...
Aradia, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. She healed Vriska's blindness, or not Vriska, she healed Terezi's blindness. There's so many fucking characters.
Yeah.
She's...
Yeah, so there's also, okay, to make this even worse, chat, there's the alpha kids, and then there's the scratch kids. The scratch kids are them from a different universe, and the trolls also have different versions.
There's alpha and
themselves
beta
from different
versions.
Oh yeah, alpha. I thought it was scratch. Yeah, alpha and beta. So each character has a counterpart that is the same but also different. Like, we basically treat them as different people, though.
Yes.
In the story.
It is wacky.
But they have the same set of, like, they have a very similar set of circumstances.
Abilities. Yeah.
Abilities.
So anyway, both of the Circuits hate him.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
And this is a hot take, chat.
This is a hot take.
Our take on them is a hot take.
The girl who blinded another girl because of a petty argument, saying she's bad, is a hot take. Yep. Anyway, so to go back to the story, so Terezi at multiple points says that she hates Vriska, but she doesn't even hate her for making her blind, because Terezi is of the belief that because she is blind and therefore that is just a part of her, and she has been blind for so long that she can't imagine not living like that, and she actually has come to be like almost kind of prefer it in a way, like this is who I am, basically. Like she's fully okay and accepted that part of herself. It's not an insecurity for her. And there is a point in the story where her blindness gets healed, and what the fuck is up with this garbage truck?
Ruining our stream.
It's being driven by Vriska. But anyway, so there's a part of the story where her blindness gets healed, and that causes her to go into like this deep depression, where she gets into a very abusive relationship with Gamzee, the clown troll, or the juggalo troll.
Asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really bad.
Gamzee murders like 4 people, 4 of the trolls.
Yeah.
In cold blood.
Just for fun.
Just because he can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thinks it's funny. So Terezi's life spirals out of control because someone tries to fix her, which is, to be fair, I feel like that's one of the better things Homestuck did, was the fact that Terezi's life got worse when someone tried to quote unquote fix her.
Well, it wasn't of her own volition.
Yeah,
either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it was forced upon her.
Exactly.
And it wasn't her own decision.
Yes.
So it affected her for the worse.
Yes, exactly. So I did like that bit. Like, because like literally, like the chick like walked up to her and just like touched her and was like, "You're not blind anymore." And Terezi, so you know, again, yeah, like Bear said, she didn't want that. It was against her will. So anyway,
stop. You just reminded me how bad that stuff was with Gamzee. That was like, like low key. Like this isn't a trigger of mine, but I feel like it would be very triggering to some people to read that dialogue. Like that's how bad it was.
Absolutely.
Between those two.
Yeah.
It was awful.
For sure. It was dark. So yeah. Also there's a point in the story where Terezi kills Vriska because it's literally the only way to keep Vriska from being a dumbass and getting everyone else killed.
Yeah.
which of course Hussey then writes in Vriska being important to the plot, and she has to get revived. But
because
like
she wasn't important for like the entire time until then, basically.
yeah,
Like she was just annoying until that point.
but
Well, she helped John and then was irrelevant and
Yes.
then was written to be relevant again.
But I hate that because like after she comes back, it's like it's implied that she was required, but we don't really get a reason. Like
yeah.
it's like, oh, she was there and that was good, I guess, because I don't know. It just was. I don't know. It's like it's really dumb. So yeah, so Terezi, no reason to like want to make up with Vriska, I would argue, but anyway.
Yeah, 'cause she literally blinded her. She sucks.
Yeah.
TLDR. Vriska sucks ass.
So epilogue Terezi is like on a mission to make up with Vriska for some reason, and then she ends up meeting up with John, and boy, oh my god, I'm remembering so many not great things about the epilogues that I had like tucked away. So Terezi had actually been like talking to John, but she had been talking to the John that went the candy route, and they'd been like basically Snapchatting each other.
Nice. Oh yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
The Snapchats. Yeah.
So we'll get into exactly what that entails, but TLDR, she meets up with the John that's being erased from reality, who's floating around in his dad's car, and she like, you know, hangs out with him in the car, and they bang in the car, in the backseat of the car.
Wait, huh?
Yeah, like full on like bang in the back of the car. It's described to a certain degree.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the okay. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. This is a ship that was vaguely hinted at in like one panel of the original comic. I think.
And there's literally no characters ever have on screen.
Mhm. Oh yeah, no,
anything
that's not a thing that ever happens in the actual comic. Like
except for like Kanaya and Rose.
mhm.
And that's just like baby shit.
Yeah,
with them.
they like kiss and hold hands, and they're cute as fuck, and I love them.
Yeah, they're adorable, but on like bang.
Yeah.
What?
Like it describes like, you know, Terezi's dragging her nails down John's back and stuff. Like
What?
it's like smut level.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, so, I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. What the hell? That's actually crazy.
I don't know if you want to read it.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Link me this. I want to read this.
Hold on. Should I don't know if I could. Actually, I shouldn't. I feel like this is something I get in trouble for on Twitch, but I'll link it to you.
I mean, my chat linked SAO 16.5,
Okay, you know what?
So
you know what? Let's.
Can't be worse than that.
You're right. Let's take that risk. Actually, yeah, Homestuck epilogue.
Just put it in my DMs,
Okay.
just to be safe. They can look it up
Yeah.
if they need to.
Yeah, I'll tell them where to go, I guess. Hold on. Isn't there? I thought there was like a. Come on. I've got to find like the exact chapter it happened in.
That, holy shit, that's like chat. That's like a huge deal because Homestuck was never like outright about any pairings except for Rose and Kanaya.
Mm-hmm. And again,
And-
they were just cute.
Yeah, they were just cute, like teenager, like low stakes relationship. Like there was never any sort of like other
Mhm.
characters that, like it was mainly implied
Yeah.
if anything happened, and it didn't matter to the story at all.
Yeah. So, man. Okay, I wish it had like a map. Like, actual Homestuck had. That would make this a lot easier. Oh, also, I forgot. How do you feel about Dirk? What's your thoughts on Dirk?
I love him.
Okay, so he becomes
Lovely character.
He becomes the new villain.
I heard about that and I was like, that's really out of character. What the fuck?
It makes no sense.
Because he's like the mom character.
Yeah,
basically.
he goes through an arc.
He takes care of people.
Yeah, he goes through a huge arc throughout the story where he is manipulative to his friends, but in a I'm trying to help you kind of way.
Yeah.
And he learns to like back off and like let them make their decisions, but still
it's
be
a whole
like
character arc.
Yeah. So it makes no sense. It does not make sense. It's stupid. So he is the villain now. He narrates parts of the story. Also,
did he have like a Joker moment? What the fuck happened?
Kinda, I guess. Like, I don't. It's just
like,
weird.
I'm tired of being nice.
He wants to do a new session. Is like the big thing.
Why?
I don't.
Everybody's
know.
alive.
I don't remember him giving a good reason. So. Okay, and then also alternate Calliope. You know, the one that made the black hole.
Yeah.
She is the other person who narrates and is like basically fighting against Dirk throughout the epilogues.
Okay.
Okay. I think I've almost found it. Okay, she leans in close to sniff him carefully. I think we're here. Maybe.
What the fuck, bro?
Shit. I think this is right before it happens. Okay. Okay, no, I'm almost there. Ah! Oh, come on, there's a bunch of BS before it happens. I had a lot of mixed feelings on the John Resi thing when this happened, because I was like, I like John and Terezi, and in a like fan fiction kind of way, this would be like a fun read, but also it's actually happening.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much here. It's also I have to explain that so Homestuck is like, it always has like an image or a flash and also text underneath, but there's no images in the epilogues. It's all text. It's all text.
They should have just gone for it.
Yeah.
They should have gone for it. Come on, hussy.
Yeah. Cowards.
I know.
John's crying.
Oh, what a lovely way to start it off.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. Some shaving cream. I'm just kind of like reading little bits. They have like a whole thing where they're like in the car and they like trauma dump to each other before it happens.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Okay,
so
hold
he
on.
says that he's like, on the wiki it says he's like omniscient almost, and like he doesn't want to be irrelevant.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, now that you say that, yes. He like has a thing, he has like a complex now about not wanting to be irrelevant to the story or something.
Well, I guess that in some ways makes a little bit of sense based on one, because yes, he was important, but like after he was important, he kind of didn't do anything.
Yeah. That is fair.
But to make a whole villain, I don't know about that one, bro.
No, it is weird. Okay, I'm gonna read some. It's like the start of it, I guess. Okay. She's close enough that her breath washes over his face. It smells like shaving cream and tobacco because she ate the shaving cream because she's a fucking gremlin and she would do that. Which is jarring to him, if not surprising. She is without her glasses and so close that John notices things he hasn't had occasion to before, like how lovely her eyes are, the length of her eyelashes. Now that he's really seeing them just inches from his face, is astounding to him. He had never thought of Terezi as particularly feminine At least in
I
the way
wanna die.
humans understand this idea, but he has never been forced to reckon with her features so unavoidably.
What the fuck is this fan fiction?
Yeah. Let me skip ahead. It's also like a kismesis type relationship.
Oh
So
no.
she's like very bitey and scratchy and stuff. Like very much so.
I'm personally offended by this.
Like this line where it says, she grinds the sword between two of his ribs. The pain returns instantly. His acclamation erased nearly as quickly. He clenches his jaw hard and his head spins. Terezi's blade catches against something.
Chat, there are 4 different kinds of ships in Homestuck.
I guess we have to talk about that after this. Yep.
I'll get you a shipping chart to put on screen.
She peels him out of his hoodie and then his shredded t-shirt. He's dizzy, his vision wavers, fades. Oh my god. Here we go. Here's the final paragraph of this chapter. Careful of her grip around his neck, John locks his arms around her waist and pulls her flush against him. She's ravenous when their mouths collide.
I hate that.
Her desire
I hate this.
intensified by the taste and scent of his blood. She doesn't give him a chance to say anything else for a while, stupid or otherwise. And then there's more detailed stuff in there, like I said, but I think
What
you
the
get the
hell?
picture. Yeah. See,
No.
Keter redacted. Okay. So on Alternia, the troll planet, there are basically 4 types of romance, I guess.
Yeah, I guess like relationships.
Yeah, relationships that go beyond like basic typical platonic relationship. And they are represented by the 4 suites in like a deck of cards. So you have the heart, the diamond, the spade, and the club or clover, whichever you prefer. I'm putting this on screen. I'll cover myself up slightly with it so you can see chat. And
Yeah.
so it is complicated, to say the least, because there are technically 4 ways you could ship any 2 characters together.
And the trolls are kind of polyamorous.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So the heart is like basically just like typical romance. Pretty straightforward. The diamond is I think it's called Moirails, which is like
Best friends.
yeah, basically. Yeah, like
Platonic love.
yeah. It is like the peak of platonic love. And those are fine. Down
Yeah.
with that. Like that. The spade is what's called like kismesis, and it is like a very toxic, relationship.
It's like hate fucking, but they want
yeah.
to kill each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like violent.
Yeah, and then there's the clover, which is like the spade, but then you add in a third person who acts as like a mediator.
Yeah.
And it is a complicated time. This is what Pokemon types look like. Hold on, I heard somebody knocking. I'll be right back.
This is more confusing than Pokemon for sure. Like, it's hard to look at, and even in story context, it like doesn't make that much sense either, because like, yes, the story alludes to it, but they don't really show it in practice that much, so it's like kind of hard to get an understanding of what it actually means. So it's just kind of like we feel like it's probably more just like commentary on shipping culture, like online shipping culture as a whole. And like they were like Hussey was trying to be like ironic and like kind of shit on it a little bit. But people ended up like eating it up and loving it. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
I assume
very-
you were talking about how it's like a parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people like actually liked it. You know,
Yeah.
like they ate it up and was like, oh my god, this is genius.
Mm-hmm. They really loved it, and yeah, it does in fact look like I have looked up Pokemon type charts, and it does look like this. So
Yeah.
it is. I don't know. It's just wild, and this is only half the characters on this chart right here.
Yeah. It is.
Ugh. So yeah, I don't know. It's wild. People really got into it. People loved it. They ate it, like she said, they ate it up.
Yeah. They loved it, and it's a little weird at times.
It was funny when it first got mentioned in the comic, because it was like, wow, like haha, overly complicated thingy because shippers, and then it becomes like part of the plot as time goes on and actually matters. And that's when it's like, oh, okay.
Like I look at this and I don't know what's happening, sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's wild. It's a wacky time.
I also need to use the restroom and grab some water. So
Okay. I will keep talking to
I will
chat.
be right back.
So yes, chat. We are the things we're telling you about Homestuck today, we're basically just like letting you like, there's a whole Homestuck cake, and we're just letting you like run your finger across the top and like eat the icing. It goes fucking deep. It is wild. Only a taste of the madness. I feel like a Lovecraft character who has read a tome of incomprehensible knowledge and is cursed to never be able to describe the things I've seen to another person. Like there's a Lovecraft story about a color that, like, an indescribable color that like drives you mad, and I feel like it's like that. Like cosmic latte. Oh my god, it is, I don't know, like it's just wild. It's crazy. And it really does only get crazier. Like it starts off so basic. Like John is a kid in his house. It's his birthday. He's waiting for a game to come in the mail. He's a typical 13-year-old, or yeah, 13-year-old who doesn't want to interact with his dad. Not even because his dad's a bad guy. He just isn't, being a kid. So it's like a wacky adventure to like get to the mail without having to talk to his dad, because he doesn't want to have like the oh hey son, how was your day kind of talk with his dad. He just wants to like get the game and go back to his room. And that's like how it starts. And then Act 1 ends with John's house getting blown up by a meteor, and that's like the super basic like baby stuff. Like if I watched somebody reading Homestuck and they're like, wow, that was crazy how his house got blown up by a meteor at the end, I'd be like, huh. Oh, you have no idea. I mean, like the amount of times that John has died and he's still the main character, at the end. And I don't know, it puts things like Kingdom Hearts to shame, honestly. Because it really is just like it is basically just like, for a good chunk of Homestuck's run, it is the insane ramblings of a madman. Like, just proves that gamers are built different. Hell yeah. Like, because he's uncaged. That's kind of the thing with like a lot of media that goes to like a professional filter, is like, it's only really ever going to get so crazy and asinine. Like, the fact that Kingdom Hearts is like the go-to example for games with crazy plots is like is honestly a good thing, because like, you can understand at least the basics of the plot, if nothing else. Like, you can read the wiki and know what's happening, you know.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. I was telling them that Homestuck is as crazy as it is because it was, for so long it was just like one guy unfiltered, versus like professional media.
Like this is never getting
right,
published, or nobody's ever gonna see this.
See, that's the thing, Night Fang, is that Homestuck did get sold to Viz Media, and then
there are books you can buy,
like, and then they have author's notes, but at some point I think Viz just went, never mind, we don't want Homestuck, because they stopped making them.
Yeah,
so
they have like what, 4 or 5 books?
6. I own them all.
Oh really?
Yeah. And they stopped making them, and I think the way I'm going to pull up the homestuck.com, and I'm going to show you how not well kept this fucking website is. And it is just, they don't care. They don't want anything to do with it anymore. They gave up. Viz
That's
said,
unfortunate.
fuck this. Here, let me put that on
So
screen.
like, I didn't understand the whole book thing, because like flash animation is such a huge thing
Oh yeah,
in Homestuck.
it's
So like, they have to like stop at part 4, like part 2, like what?
no,
You know?
they show like screenshots from different points in the flash.
That's lame.
It is not the proper way to enjoy Homestuck, for sure.
No, not at all.
It is honestly, you buy it for the author's notes to see what Husty has to say about like the creation of certain bits and stuff like that. It does get interesting at points. I don't know, it's kind of neat. Okay,
It's like,
here's what it looks like.
what's it?
There's just like a black bar on the side of every page for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was not there before.
no, I don't know how they did that, but they did. So yeah.
That is unfortunate, because there used to be ads too, right? So
Hope it's like AOL or GeoCities.
Gaia Online is better kept than Homestuck.com.
Yep. Oh my god. So yeah, Viz also fucked up to use the VCR thing where they recorded 6 hours but sideways. Viz also got Homestuck like right at the end. So not only did they get a thing that they couldn't handle, they got it when it was blowing up, because it blew up for a minute because the ending came out and everyone was like, wow, crazy, it's actually ending, and then immediately died, and then immediately most people read the epilogues and went, nah, I don't like this, fuck you, and dipped.
Yeah, because there were other things that people didn't like, because didn't they retcon John to be trans at some point, or some character? Yeah,
Hussey did a thing where he like tried to do like an ARG, I guess, where he would go to a place and he would buy a Toblerone, which is, I don't know, I guess he likes there's like one joke in the fucking comic where Dave opens up a magazine called Game Bro, and there's a dude holding up a Toblerone, but it's called a Broblerone, and it's kind of like a funny thing. But other than that, I don't know why, like what it's supposed to be a reference to. Anyway, so he like hit a Toblerone in like a random place, like out, like off, slightly in the wilderness, but like somewhere you could go without killing yourself, obviously. And he like would post some hints, and he'd be like, the first person that finds it can make any change they want to Homestuck. And the first one was, I believe, making Vriska trans, actually. And then later on he did one where they said make John trans, and he was like done and done. My issue with this is that it's like, I don't like it being done in such a like bam kind of way. It's like, we'll do it now because this one fan told us to, you know?
It feels like, well, people also misconstrued this because I didn't know, right? And people just thought it was him pulling a J.K. Rowling and saying like, oh, Dumbledore's gay this whole time.
No. It was not on that level.
So, yeah. So I don't know, because it also doesn't matter. You know,
it doesn't. That is my thing. Is like a lot of people were mad, and they're kind of a dumb thing to get mad about, especially because like, I don't know, it like technically they said it's canon, but like as far as Homestuck 2 ever got, nothing ever happened that was like here. So I don't know, but my thing about it, I guess, that I don't like is that it feels like it almost kind of, I don't know, this is a heavy topic, but it kind of feels like made up fake representation, I guess.
Yeah, like that's why
we didn't work for
even
this.
though hearing this, it so kind of feels like the J.K. Rowling thing, like it's not meaningful representation.
There's no reason to believe that Hussey ever considered doing that with these characters, but now snap, here they are, trans. I don't know.
But also that fan is a Chad, so I don't know.
That's the thing, is also on the flip side is there are people who like, there are definitely people who like read Homestuck and who are trans and went, I relate to John a lot, it would make sense to me if he was trans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it is a weird thing, but also I'd argue in the same vein, there are probably people who read Harry Potter and went, I relate to Dumbledore, I hope he's gay. So
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess
a little less probable. I
think that's true. There's one person out there.
Yeah, for sure.
If someone is really mad at this webcomic where you described a couple doing the funny in a car while orbiting a black hole, there's definitely better things. That is very true. That is
I was
very
a clown
true.
and got talkie dust on my fingers. I'm gonna like wash this off really fast.
Okay.
I forgot to get a napkin. I'm a clown.
Honk honk. So so from my opinion is basically like, it isn't the best representation, but like it's definitely not the worst either, so I can't be mad about it. Like I can't be like, I can't shake my fists and be like, how dare you, because this is a character that like
we are back in business.
Hell yeah. But you know, John and I don't care about Vriska. Fuck Vriska. But John is a character that like a lot of people are very attached to because you know him very well across the whole story. So honestly, even though it kind of just comes out of nowhere, if John being trans and being June like matters to them, then honestly I feel like it works. It's worth it in the end.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that kind of sucks about it is like people also are like, who are still fans of Homestuck and like keep up with it regularly, are using it as ammunition against people who don't know about this. And they're like, oh, you're misgendering June, or like all of this.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I've been seeing, that's what I've mainly been seeing about that change. And like, if you aren't like active in the year of our Lord 2022
Yeah.
about all the intricacies of like the Homestuck like production, you're not gonna know.
Yeah. Also, that also is a complicated thing because in the meat route, Roxy is trans at the end, but in the candy
What?
route,
Okay.
she's not. So there is now the thing of like different versions of the same character will not like go that same route, you know.
Yeah.
So now we have a he him Roxy, and I think she's more of like a she they in the candy, but still.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know.
And then all of this, you could even say it's not canon because Homestuck 2 is being written by not Hussey.
Right.
So
And
it's a mess.
yeah, it is quite a mess, and it's really fucked up that people would try to use it to like fire off at people that don't know all that. Because like, obviously with the death of the fandom, like clearly most people don't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah, like how are you supposed to, especially since like even I, somebody who heard about it, didn't know it was from like a fan. I thought it was just Hussey being annoying, you know?
Like just the epilogues, like I was reading in all my free time across like 3 days, and it took me all those 3 days to get through the epilogues. A lot of people would probably have read the opening to the epilogues and then left. So
Well, yeah, and you also like, if you don't remember what happened in the original, you're kind of like, well,
right,
whatever, I guess.
yeah. It is quite a mess. I don't know, it just goes wild. But yeah, so the candy route is like John and Roxy get married.
The fuck? Okay.
Gamzee gets out of the fridge, and
Put him in there.
for some reason everyone except John, it feels so weird and out of character, literally everyone goes, no, he's fine, like let's let him do his thing, he's fine, don't worry about it.
What?
And John's like, no, and everyone's like, no, it's fine. And there's like a whole subplot about John like constantly being like feeling like he's being gaslit because he's constantly like, no, we can't trust that guy. And everyone's like, literally everyone
being gaslit about these characters. What is happening?
Everything past the end of Homestuck feels like they're gaslighting you. I'm not even gonna lie.
Crazy.
Jane and Gamzee get together.
Whoa, Jane?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Jane becomes like an evil robot dictator lady.
Oh, okay.
Karkat forms a rebel army to fight against Jane.
What the? Is this in the candy timeline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jade, Dave, and Karkat are like in a 3-way relationship. But
Okay.
there's like a whole
I
thing.
mean, I guess that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about how like they're in a 3-way relationship, but like Dave and Karkat haven't like fully really admitted that they like each other. It's kind of a weird thing.
They're like
Like-
the most popular ship in one. Just do it.
Yeah, they do
Just
it.
full send.
They do it after
Like,
a while.
please.
Yeah. I actually like that moment where they do have their like kiss and stuff, because unlike with John and Terezi, during that moment, it's an interesting kind of bit because Dirk is narrating and he can kind of like affect like people's thoughts and stuff, and he's trying to get Dave to do it, but he's very insistent that he won't make Dave do it because Dave needs to do it himself, which I like a lot. And then when they're about to like have their kiss, Dirk goes, I'm not narrating this, fuck you, let them have their moment. And I did really like that. I thought that was a really nice bit.
Yeah.
That was
I
there
mean,
was
they're one of the ships that make sense for
oh
sure.
for sure. Them getting together, I was like, finally, Jesus.
I know, right? They're like my one Homestuck ship is
Yeah.
Gabe and Karkat.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. And so that happens anyway. So there's also a weird, so okay, so chat, there's a point where Jade fuses with like her dream self, but her dream self is also fused with her dog, who has like radioactive powers and stuff.
Yep. So she's part dog.
Yep. So she
Has ears.
She got a dog penis.
Wait.
It's canon. That's explained to us.
Why?
Don't know?
Why?
Don't know? That's the thing that I learned reading it.
For what reason does this matter?
Just somebody really wanted you to know. And that comes up, and I don't.
The fuck, dude.
Yeah.
We get that explanation, but not the troll genital explanation. Okay.
Yep. So anyway, moving on.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah. So lots of wacky drama happens. Roxy and John end up getting divorced later on. They have a kid whose name I can't remember. He ends up being
What the fuck? Okay.
He ends up being a theater kid.
That makes sense.
Wait. I just thought of another thing I hate. It sounded like the Dr. Seuss thing. Anyway, fucking Rose and Kanaya. Kanaya's in charge of like the mother grub and stuff, which makes sense. It's
Yeah.
So they adopt a troll baby.
Okay.
And they name her. Would you like to guess?
Vriska.
Yep.
Why?
Vriska though, like, come on, yeah, everyone likes Vriska. Vriska, filled with hate, yes. Yeah, everyone's a Vriska. Everyone on the Homestuck team is a Vriska apologist.
Or they just want to fuck her.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Yeah.
I think it's most likely that one.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah, same thing. Yeah. And then with this, Taki's. Taki's great. I love Taki's. So yeah, lots of wacky drama. Jake is also technically part of a three-way thing with Jane and Gamzee, but
No.
he just gets bossed around and
What the dude?
Yeah.
Poor Jake. He gets bullied the entire time.
Seriously. Let
Him
him
and Dirk were my other Homestuck ship. What the fuck, bro?
let him be happy. Yeah. And then anyway, and there's also a thing in the meat timeline, I think it was, where there's like a big thing about like running for president or something on the new planet.
What is it with Homestuck and like weird, incorrect political commentary?
I don't know.
Like missing the point kind of political commentary.
I don't know, but it's really good at it. Anyway, Karkat's running for president. So is
I'd vote for Karkat.
I'd vote for Karkat. So is Jake, I think. But like, it'd be scarier if it was the absolute best political commentary that's kind of fair.
Yeah. I mean, we did get kind of close though, like recently.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the thing. Because it was like something about the White House and it was like dangerously like realistic.
Oh boy, I'm scared to know what it was.
I think it was like one of the ICP guys was like, I think I'm gonna run for president or something.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Kanye West also ran for president and called his party the birthday party. So.
In Homestuck?
No, in real life.
Because I was gonna say that sounds like a Homestuck thing. So.
It does.
I know he ran for president, but I didn't know he called his party the birthday party.
Yeah, yeah. That happened.
Oh god.
Anyway. Yeah, so basically it ends up the culmination of the epilogues is that Dirk gets a spaceship, Rose gets put in a robot body and also agrees to help Dirk, but I don't really get why.
Yeah.
Like, she leaves Kanaya and goes to help Dirk.
What?
Yeah.
But are they still together?
I mean, kind of not. It's implied that it's like I'm not coming back for you kind of thing.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is what anime sounds like to the uninitiated. That's so true.
Yeah. Also, I forgot, Terezi, after John dies, she like shows up in the meat route planet, and like she ends up going with Dirk and Rose, but she has like a weird, like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, she's almost like it kind of comes across like she's helping them until she gets the chance to like sabotage them kind of thing.
Okay.
Kind of weird, but I don't know, whatever. She's really fucked up about John dying.
At least that gives... It would make more sense to give her the villain arc, because that would give her motivation to start a new
session. Oh, actually, that's why she joins, because Dirk is like, you can bring John back.
Yeah, like that
So
would make more sense to have her be the main villain.
Now that I'm remembering that actually it makes sense that she can. But yes, I agree. That gives her more reason to be a villain than Dirk, I think. Because I feel like Dirk, in his character arc, would have gotten over the whole I need to be the most relevant person thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of my biggest problem with the epilogues in Homestuck 2, is it feels like they just kind of like slash off half of the progression that the characters made in their arcs, because I guess they were
so weird.
I don't know, it's like one of those things where it's like, I guess if you're gonna try to make a whole new series with these same characters, I guess you kind of have to do that, because like they don't have anywhere else to go after so long. But like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't have made another series with these characters.
Yeah, maybe you just should have made the games and stopped.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So yeah, that's the epilogues. And there's Homestuck 2, which didn't get very far, because I do feel bad for the people working on it, because they stopped because of the amount of death threats they were getting.
That is sad.
Yeah. So
why are there enough people to give death threats?
That's a great question. I don't know. But supposedly they're going to make the whole thing and just upload it all at once. I don't know if it's actually ever going to happen. A lot of people are convinced that they're just never going to finish it, which would be fair, honestly. No idea.
I looked at some of 2, and then when I got to like the part where like Dirk started talking, I was like, my eyeballs, I can't read this, and then I stopped.
Oh yeah, there's so much,
like
so much orange,
text color. Yeah.
Orange on white. It's not great.
Yeah. Can they give us like a Homestuck night mode, please?
I wish.
Maybe I'd read it.
I'm gonna get like I might just like do a window capture, actually. It might be easier, but I'll show you guys. Yeah, it is here. Window capture. Don't think I have. I'm just double checking. I don't have anything open that would be bad. Okay, just default it to it anyway. So that is what the text looks like. It is orange on white, and honestly,
It's so hard to look at.
I'd argue that it's slightly better than Homestuck original, because I feel like it's a little.
The
different.
font is better.
Yeah. That's what it is. But even still, like, God, like I'm being blinded looking at this.
Yeah, it's so hard to read, especially when you look at Rose's text. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
it's yeah. Orange. Yeah, it was a neat idea to color code the characters, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
Just choose better colors, forehead.
Yeah, or have
Like, straight
a not
up.
white background.
Yeah.
Probably should have been like a very neutral gray, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, it might be hard to read that shade of orange, but yeah, they
That's true,
needed something
but still,
better than that for sure.
Yeah, that goes back to the just choose better colors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Should we start wrapping it up here? It's been 3 hours.
Yeah, that sounds good. I feel like we talked about it, a lot of it.
Yeah. Because we can't explain it to chat. It's like it's like an impossible Herculean task.
I think you just have to experience it after a certain point.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have anything else you wanted to like throw in at the end?
Play Undertale.
Yeah, and Deltarune.
Don't read Homestuck.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I agree.
it's a very similar experience, but it's a bit more
Tasteful for one.
emotionally intelligent
That too.
and paced well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were interested in Homestuck, just watch the Flash animations.
Yep. Undertale is like a 6-hour game, depending on how much you want to, like, you know, explore. But
So I think the full experience is playing all 3 routes.
yes, but I know a lot of people who are like, nope, I refuse to play the bad route. So
Oh, well, at least play the pacifist one.
yeah,
for sure.
pacifist
That's
you have
the
to
best
do.
one.
Yeah. But I agree. I did all 3. I think if you're gonna play the game, you need to do all the routes.
Yeah.
Same with Deltarune Chapter 2. Chapter 1 doesn't really matter. But Chapter 2 does have a separate route, and I think you should play it. Anyway.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Oh. The curious phenomenon called Homestuck. It sure is curious.
Give me a history book with Homestuck in it, please.
All right. I have someone we could raid, unless you had someone you wanted to raid.
Nope, I am open to raiding anybody.
Okay, cool. We will raid Shumi.
Yay. Okay, cool.
All right, let me pull up her stream. All right, cool. So, yep, I will. Here, let me shout you out one more time.
Thank you for hosting. This was fun to talk about.
It was. I have never had the chance to be like, oh, you know what I'm talking about too. You've seen this.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Just went into like the deepest like shelves of my brain because I like remembered a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it hooks onto you like a leech and it never lets go.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm just I2 and Bear Raid. Don't read Homestuck.
You can't fight the Homestuck.
Oh, there you go.
John, Egbert, Rosalolan, Descend, Rise Up, Abscon, Jade, Harley, Dave Strider, they all play Suburban in the world. Fuck.
There
There's
you go.
more.
Yeah. I'll take your word. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out maybe someday to talk about for like 3 hours again.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah. All right.
Always
Cool.
down for collabs.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Of course. If you ever get a cool idea, I'll probably say yes. So.
Have you read Higurashi?
No.
Okay.
I have seen the first like season of the anime.
Okay. Damn it.
I'm sorry.
That's my other thing that I like to talk about.
I have read
people
One
who know.
Piece, but I assume. Wait, have you read One Piece?
I need to.
Okay.
It's in my plan.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Anyway, but yeah, we'll figure something out someday. I don't know. Maybe we'll just play a game.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So yeah, let's go raid. I think she's wrapping up, but I don't care. We're raiding anyway. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.